Hello, everyone, and welcome to whatever part this is of Pirates of the Aquan. Um, so, last time, they managed to finally get back to the cave after some extensive time, um, interrogating prisoners, things of that nature. And they reached there virtually no problem. The cursed captain didn't do too much on the island, um, and he mostly just sat around. Whereas, gosh, I'm blanking. What's his name?
Juzai.
Yeah, Juzai. He was doing a variety of things, uh, which what did he do first?
Test out the stealing prevention material things and stuff, experiments I have.
Oh yes, he did all those experiments, got a guy killed, and then brought him back, and then simulated his death, and then brought him back. Um, Basically that happened, and some world backstory type of stuff was explained during that. And then he put out the notice for blueprint with a word written on it, and a crazy guy came to his little shack, and the crazy guy um, managed to um, read it and all that nonsense. Um, and the crazy guy um, was doing crazy things, so then Juzai decided to put him asleep, which apparently was a bad idea because then the crazy guy actually brought forth something, and or something was brought forth through him, um, and started turning Juzai a little crazy. Um, Various thoughts were being implanted in Juzai's mind as he was attempting to do things. Um, and he came up with a plan to try to get rid of whatever was causing this to happen to him. Um, Basically involving him using that machine that he tested to separate his soul from his body and see if anything um,
Else was there.
violent, I suppose, would be the best word, would erupt from his body as a result, um, which partially happened but didn't happen. Um, Something weird appeared, that the guy that was helping him noticed, um, and they eventually got rid of that weird thing. However, he is still being spoken to in his mind, although he's not sure what the source is, and that was kind of where we left off, I think.
Yeah, I basically just, backhanded it and told it to shut up for a while.
Yeah. Well, either way, Bloodbeard sends a messenger to both of you after a while, after that day that we were on ended, and you guys are about to take your long rest when the messenger arrives saying that you're expected to be on the ship.
Well, I don't have to pack as much as I used to since my armor is now on a demi-plane. Hooray!
All right, Cursed
I
Captain. Anything you want to do before entering the ship?
Yeah, I will just come.
Okay. Anything Juzai wants to finish up? Or just head on to the ship?
Take some of, well, take my at least my one experiment that works, and blueprints for it, and that other blueprints that our crazy friend wants to have, just to keep that secure.
Yes, and you can now read it perfectly, if you wanted to.
Yeah,
Due to what happened to you.
yeah. I'm going to read it, but limit my exposure to reading the language.
Okay, sure. So you guys get onto the ship, and it is dark. The moon is shining above everything. It seems as though it's a full moon at the moment. Might be a problem if you were elsewhere, but you don't suspect any lycanthropes are on the ship that you aren't aware of anyway. So you seem to be fine. You guys head out and are headed somewhere that you aren't sure where. However, you get on the ship, and as soon as you two get on the ship, it seems as though all the rest of the crew is there waiting for you, and the ship just leaves.
Yeah. I'll just get to the front of the ship and stay at where I've been standing a lot earlier.
Okay. Anything Juzai wants to do before resting? Technically, you were about to take your long rest before the ship's the messenger approached you. So, what do you want to do? Just get your long rest, or
Yeah, get my long rest, just settling into my usual cabin, so to say.
okay? So that happens. Captain, I'll get you to make a perception check before you go to sleep. Yeah, you don't notice anything. So you take your long rest, and you guys awaken, and you're in the middle of the ocean. So anything you want to do before you arrive at your destination?
Check if I still have everything on me.
Okay. You attempt to check your person. Make an investigation check.
Oh, no, you're gonna be kidding me. I saw it roll in 20. Nope, 2.
Yeah, you check your person, and I'll even give you the benefit of checking the rest of your quarters. It appears that your door was open, even though you had it closed, and some of your stuff appears to be not where you left it, if not completely missing.
So I'm gonna ask around if they saw me do anything last night, at least me.
Okay, roll another
Any,
investigation check to see. Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah. Roll an investigation check, see if you manage to find the right person.
There we
This
go.
time, you manage to locate what might be helpful to you. So you walk over to a person who seems to be leaning up against the door frame of the bunk across from you. And it appears to be that mage that you got to help you get rid of the green thing that was following you. And he's just sort of leaning against that door frame, sort of just getting awakened, getting used to being on the ship again. Or a ship, I should say. You can ask him, is what I'm implying.
Oh, didn't notice that. So, welcome to and go like, so did you notice anything happen to me last night, or did I just waddle around or do anything?
Yeah, I didn't notice that you. Alright, he did. I did notice that you seemed to sleepwalk.
Yeah, usually don't do that. Did I have anything on me that seemed like all that I'm just carrying around for that time of day? And where did I put it, by any chance?
He goes, well, at one point you had a hammer. So yes, your hammer of mending seems to be missing.
Damn it. By any chance you know where I went with that? It's quite rare.
He just points down the hall, and he says, "You went up those stairs to the next level, but I was too tired, so I went to sleep."
Okay, then. Well, I guess I have to ask around to see if someone saw me up there and so on and so on.
He nods. And
I have a bad feeling about this.
Well, you start heading up that way, I assume?
Yeah.
Alright, you head up there. You need to make another investigation check.
One.
You walk up there. Seems as though everybody just seems to be going about their day. You can pull whoever you wish aside. You can see some of the engineers. You can see just some of the regular personnel. You see somebody, like, sort of wiping down a cannon. Perhaps putting grease on the outside, you're not sure.
One of the Midnight Cannon crew, perhaps? Because you never know.
You can approach him.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask if he saw me waddle around last night.
He goes, I just got here.
Okay, well, do you know where the Midnight Cannon crew is?
He goes, probably sleeping.
Yeah. Assumed as much.
Yes. Well.
Great. I expected a few of them to still be awake, because, perhaps they just want to get something before they go to sleep.
Well, that's up to you to find out, isn't it? As he continues doing what he was doing.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for one that's awake of the Midnight Cannon crew.
Okay. Make another investigation check.
Oh boy, so many investigation checks. 15.
Yeah. Alright, you walk back down the stairs and you head towards where the cook station is. You see the guy that you guys picked up from the island that was part of that group that the cursed captain employed to try to get information. And he was the skinny guy that looked like he was about to die. You told him to go work with the chef, and he's sort of just standing there next to where the chef station is, and he's sort of just gathering ingredients for the chef to prepare.
So, I guess you worked all night?
He goes, well, I was up all night, yes, though I'm about to go to sleep. What did you need?
Well, this is gonna sound weird, but did you see me walk around last night, perhaps on the deck above or anywhere on the ship?
He goes, well, yes, I saw you exit your room. I just thought that you needed to use it or empty a chamber pot or something.
No, I'm a bit, well, not myself lately. Let's keep it at that.
He goes, alright. But if you want somebody who may have been on the floor that you went on, he motions to someone who's like sitting there in front of a bowl of something, some sort of food, and he's just sort of he's like sort of fading. He's falling asleep.
Yeah, let's ask him before he actually goes out like a candle.
Yeah, he's just he almost face plants his meal a couple of times.
So I just get to him and gently put my hand on his shoulder, not to want to spook him awake, because he's nearly out.
He just sort of glances over to you, and he almost falls out of his chair.
So I hold him up straight, like hold him in his chair straight, and go and ask him. So, quick questions may sound odd, but did you see me last night?
Yeah, didn't you see yourself?
No, lately not myself. Let's say that. Well, things are going on.
He blinks heavily and shakes his head, and he goes, what do you need?
Where did you see me go? Like, did I go to? I know I was on the floor above here, but did I go to the deck or something?
I just noticed that you walked into the engineer's station. Other than that, nothing.
Okay, I think I know where it is. Oh boy. Uh, I just tell him, if you don't want to have a face full of soup, I would put it aside and lay down.
He goes, and he turns to somebody who's just about to go and get some breakfast. He goes, "Hey, you want this?" I'm a. And then he just sort of lays back and falls unconscious in the middle of the floor. And the other guy just comes over and swipes his food and walks away.
The shrug and go to the engineer floor and head over to the enchantment mite. I have a bad feeling about this.
Alright, they are in the safe. What do you
Mhm.
wish to do?
Open the safe and check the tube they're in.
Alright, it has a combination. You put in the combination that was on it before. The combination is different. Because your combination doesn't work.
I saw and ask around if they what the combination this time is for the safe.
Alright, make an investigation check.
So many.
Well, that's what you're doing. Alright, there's a
30.
guy there. And he goes, "Wait, the combination has changed?"
Yes.
He
None of
goes
you did
over
that.
he goes over to the safe and he puts in a combination. You're not sure if it's the one that you had before or not. And he goes, "Hmm, that's odd. It's not the combination that we had before."
Oh, great.
It was. And he walks over, he grabs a book, and he opens it, and it's got the safe combination in it. And he clearly shows it to you. And you even input it to make sure that he didn't make a mistake. It doesn't open.
I just sigh, hold up my hand, and just snap my hand to get my gauntlet out to rip open the safe.
Okay. He goes. He sees you about to pry the safe open, and he goes, "Oh, wait!" And he picks up a stethoscope, and he puts it next to the safe, and he goes, and he opens the safe, and he goes, "Well, at least I got the combination now," and he writes it down.
Okay, I checked the tube the enchantment mites are in.
Alright, you look in there. There is no longer a little piece of broken, enchanted object. There's your hammer.
Oh, for fuck's sake. What did we use to subdue those things again?
You hear a voice in the back of your mind. That's all you know.
Yeah, I just asked some of the crew to what we used to subdue those things again so that they won't jump out of their
He goes,
tube.
"We attracted them away with. Well, you did this, technically. We attracted them away with an enchantment more powerful than the one that they were attached to."
Okay, then I know one. My +2 longsword, I just hold it by the glass and pull it away from the hammer.
Alright. You hold it next to the glass. I need you to make a dexterity check.
Oh, that's not good. 7.
Unfortunately, you see some of those dots that you noticed before climb onto your hammer. But you managed to get your other hammer, the hammer of mending, out of the jar, and you just motion for somebody to give you another piece of enchanted object, and you put it in the jar. Some of them manage to get out of the jar, but you know that they don't live long without something enchanted to actually eat.
Yeah,
and
but
you
if
did
they-
notice that some got on your level 2 Warhammer.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just grab them and gonna go squash, squash, squash. They're just a few.
Alright, you attempt to wipe them off. However, you notice that whenever you attempt to wipe them, they reproduce faster than you're able to wipe them off.
Okay, that's it. God damn it.
Her voice in the back of your mind. You know, I could help you with that.
Right, like you helped me before. Sure.
You just have to accept my gift.
You don't really know a lot about gifts, do you?
You just hear.
Ah,
Answer.
you annoying piece of crud.
Yeah. You just unfortunately didn't move your hammer away fast enough, and some of them got on your hammer. That's what happened. So now your hammer is disenchanted, and if you put it near anything that's enchanted, there's a chance that the enchantment mites will go from the level 2 Warhammer to whatever it is you put it next to.
I'm gonna invent something. No, wait, that didn't have that. I swear to God, I have something that does that. No. Ooh, they're attracted by magic, right?
They are attracted to any object that is enchanted. That's all you know for sure. You don't know if you cast a spell if they'll get attracted to it or not. You haven't tried that yet.
Perfect. Cast mage and pick up a wooden cube or something that's small and light enough, and then try to attract the mites with it. They can sense the magic. They think the wood is magic.
Alright, and as you go through this process, you lift the cube over and you see that your hammer is entirely covered now. And you start attracting your hand over it, and I'm going to roll a d20 to determine the outcome of what just happened, what you just tried. Alright. They do, some of them do attempt to jump up at your hand, which is what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
However, then the cube falls to the floor and your hand vanishes.
Okay, cast it again and try and lure them into another container.
Okay. You attempt to do so with the hand just sort of leading them along. Unfortunately, this does not work.
What else can I sacrifice that I'm totally not going to use?
Just use your suit.
No.
Yeah,
something better.
I will say that, and if you use your suit, anything magical on it would be basically rendered useless, and if it gets infected with these mites, and you won't be able to demi-plane it anymore. So it's not a good idea.
I have one thing that can work: sending stones.
Okay. Do you know the rarity of these?
Yeah, I think it's a rare item. If it's the sending stone.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a rare.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna try and lure them and try just in time move away so that they just fall into the jar again.
Okay. I'm gonna roll a d20 to determine the outcome of this. At advantage. Okay. So, at advantage due to the fact that you're actually using something more magical than what you used before. Yeah, they do get
Imagine.
attacked. I need you to make a dexterity check.
Don't feel me now.
Unfortunately, your sending stone is completely inert.
Well,
Now.
drop it with rest while they're in there. I still have my warhammer.
Yes, you do free your warhammer, however.
Well, it was a necessary sacrifice.
So that stone is now rendered inert, unless if you find a way to remove the mites.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna feast for a long time because sending stones come in pairs.
Well, the other one will not work either.
Yeah. So yeah, they have something to feast on.
Alright, so that's that.
Yep, I at least have my hammer back.
You hear him go. Would have been a lot easier if you just allowed me to give you my gift.
I want to mentally backhand him.
Alright, I'll get you to make a wisdom saving throw. Let's see if
Yeah.
anything happens.
Nope.
You just hear him go. Because he didn't manage to do anything to him.
I'm gonna invent something so that I can use my intelligence to mentally backhand you.
He goes, good luck.
Are you literally trying to tell an inventor good luck with something he will invent?
I just don't think it's possible. Not without my help, anyway.
Challenge accepted.
You feel his grinning gaze upon you, whoever this entity is.
I'm gonna grab a whole lot of scrap, a whole lot of paper, and go back to my room to work.
Alright. Do you wish to look at the blueprint?
Yes, I also checked for those to make sure. Well, the blueprint, I will just, read a few lines.
Just before we start, did I give you any description of what is on the blueprint already from the crazy guy? Because I don't remember.
It was that heart, if I remember, the special mechanized heart.
Oh, yes. Yes, it's the mechanized heart. I'm pretty sure you cast Identify on it originally. So you do have that information. But I'm just wondering if you got the information from the blueprint.
No.
Okay, so the crazy guy didn't give you the information. You just tried to knock him unconscious before he gave you that information. So you literally got nothing from it, but you can now read it if you wish.
Yeah. I'm going to be cautious with it because I have a feeling if I read too much, I might slip into more madness.
Okay, so do you attempt to read it?
A few lines, nothing more.
Okay. You still need to make a wisdom saving throw.
Why didn't I spend any points in that?
Alright, you
Boom.
managed to completely decipher the passage that you read. You read a specific portion of the language that seems to be indicating towards the casing of the artifact. And the casing of the artifact is made of a crystalline substance known as clearicite, I think. It's just basically a clear. It's a rock that appears in magic, locations that are magically creating Earth. Sometimes, as a result, this crystal will just appear in the Earth that's being magically created, just as a byproduct of it being magic. And if you form the shell of this creation, I guess is the best way to put it, with this substance, apparently it contains whatever is within.
Okay, so I write down my findings in common so that I don't have to reread the passage.
Okay. However, that is the only information that you get.
That's
due to
fair.
the fact that you're being very cautious.
Yeah.
So it's a sphere made of this clearicite type object or material. So you have that information. But if you wish to get more information, you'll have to inevitably make more wisdom saving throws.
So for now, I'm going to well, like I said, use my intelligence instead of my wisdom for those wisdom saving throws. At least make a device that helps me with that.
Okay, you get started on that, I'll say.
Yeah.
So it might take a little while for something like that to be made, considering you don't know where to start. Like you don't have a starting point to go from. So
Basically,
what I'm going to do...
from new grounds, breaking new grounds in the science, well, magic science.
Yeah, it's technically like alchemy, I'll say.
Mhm.
But to determine how much progress you make, I'll get you to make an Arcana check and a Tinker Tools check.
Arcana 25. Tinker
Right.
Tools 16.
Alright, here's what I'll say. You have an idea of possible enchantments that you can use. However, you're not sure how to contain them properly at the moment. So that's where you're at. You have, like, an idea of the magic rituals you might need to use, what sorts of spells you might need to look into to get the proper effect. You may need a wizard's help to create this, because of the spells required. But the mechanical portions you're still having a hard time figuring out what object you might want to use to contain the enchantment that would be best suited for such a thing. And if the enchantment will even stick to certain objects, you're not sure. So you're having a hard time figuring out what you might want to do with it.
Yeah.
Either way, that takes up the rest of your day, unfortunately. So, Captain, although technically, I'll say that we'll go till the next area, the next important event. So I'll get you to, unless if you want to do anything else in particular, I'll get you to make 2 more Arcana checks and Tinkerer's Tools checks.
Yeah. Before I go to sleep, I put an alarm on myself, a mental alarm, so that no one wakes up about it. And the trigger is if I move out of my room.
Okay.
Wake me up.
All right. You wake up. You wake up the next day, and you are outside of your room, or the next night.
What? I don't just set the spell alarm. I mean.
Yeah. The alarm wakes you up.
Yeah.
As a result of the spell, and you are outside of your room. standing, erect.
I just go back and then do it and set it up again, and I just think to myself, not this time.
Okay. You wake up again.
Just
Same
keep
situation.
doing that back and forth.
Okay.
Not
How many times are you allowed to set up the spell and have it activate? Does it activate infinite times?
I need to set it up each and every time it has been used.
Okay, how many spell slots do you have?
I can do it as a ritual.
Can you?
Yes, alarm is a ritual spell.
Well, then you get 0 sleep. So you gain a point of exhaustion.
I don't care as long that thing stays out of my head.
Okay, so, Captain, you here? I did see that. Oh, he's not here. His internet connection cut out for a moment.
Oh.
I don't know if it's returning or not. He says he'll be right back, but I don't know if that's the case.
When that will be.
Okay, so.
Hello?
Oh, there he is.
There you are. Yeah, I was just saying that, you're not here, and I was about to switch to you. So, I'll switch to you now then, since you're here. Alright, so I need you to make 3 perception checks.
Yeah.
Perception.
As soon as possible. If you're not in roll 20, that is.
I see him in roll 20.
Yeah, I see him in there too, but he did lose internet connection, so it might just be saying that he's there when he's not really there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just reloading my roll 20.
So
Okay.
we'll give you a chance to do that. Just to fill you in what was happening, because you lost connection. He basically, I don't know if the spell works this way, but I allowed it.
So let me hold up for you then, so that you know what it does.
Okay.
There you go. Its
Choose a
duration is
door,
8
window.
hours.
Okay. And alarms alert you whenever a tiny or larger creature touches or enters the warded area.
I can also give it a specific trigger. I think it says.
No, it doesn't say that.
Yeah, you just choose who it doesn't ping on. Like you can choose your other members and it won't trigger when they enter.
But technically, I allowed it, so it happened.
Yeah.
I allowed it so that way it would trigger when
If he
left the area. And he, as a result, gained a point of exhaustion because he kept doing it over and over again. So he didn't actually get any rest that night.
Yeah.
So, with your perception checks, most of the day goes by smoothly. However, near the end of the day, you see somebody suspicious on the ship.
Suspicious on the ship.
Yeah, black
That's not
cloak.
good.
Someone that you've never seen before. Black cloak. Sort of hunched over. Like, imagine, like,
Oh no.
Igor from the Frankenstein story. He's sort of hunched over, very suspicious looking if you just saw him randomly. He's got a black cloak over his face. He's very small, like, even if somehow his back were straightened, which you assume might not be possible based on his anatomy, he would probably stand about 2 or 3 feet tall. But his back looks crippled, or perhaps he has something like this world's equivalent of scoliosis. He's completely hunched over. completely weird looking, and he's just sort of walks into the captain's quarters, and as you're approaching the captain's quarters to perhaps investigate further, or just because you're walking closer, he walks back out and goes into the lower decks of the
Okay.
ship.
I will stalk him, because why not?
Alright.
23.
Alright, he is going to attempt to perceive you. Whether consciously or not, he's going to try to succeed in seeing you, which he does not do. You watch him walk down the stairs, and you watch him go down to the crew quarters, and as he walks through a shadow, and I need to make a roll for that, a dark shadow, as it is getting nighttime when you notice him, because it's the 22 that succeed. I'm clicking the thing.
15.
Okay, I need you to make a perception check. Yeah, unfortunately, you see him walk into a shadow, and it's like a really thin shadow, just
How far away is that shadow? Like,
I'll tell you in a second.
Okay.
It's like maybe a few inches thick on the floor, and it obstructs your view of him, but it looks like he just walked into it, and it was like he walked into invisibility. He was just gone.
But how far away was that? Can I make that in like 6 seconds?
When at the moment that happened, you were about 30 feet away.
Okay.
Because you weren't right next to him, but you weren't like infinitely far away. You were decently close.
I will run up there and I will scare him. Hopefully that'll make some more noise. So he needs to make a wisdom save.
Okay. What's the range on that? So you run up to the spot and you use it. What's the range?
It's 30 feet.
Okay. Yeah, he's within 30 feet. He was just leisurely walking when this happened. Or as leisurely as a dude going can do.
That's Mary.
Imagine Gollum, except he's got a black cloak on, sort of situation. Okay, so he needs to make a wisdom?
Wisdom.
Yeah.
Wisdom what?
Saving throw.
Yeah, how much?
My DC is... we have 3 proficiencies, so it's 14. So yeah, he makes it.
So unfortunately, you go and emanate this key ability from you. You emanate your personal energies out of your body to make yourself look bigger and more intimidating. That sort of thing is what it does. But to you, you're just sort of standing there and feel this energy emanate from you. However, you don't see him appear.
Okay. Where's the other exits?
You can. There are 4 ways he could have went from that particular location. He could have continued and went down further into the ship. He could have went back through you somehow, which you don't think happened. Or he could have went into this darkened room to your left, or a different room to your right, which has light pouring through it.
I'm gonna run. Let's see. I'm gonna spend a key point, and I'm gonna run. 135 feet around in the dark room. Hopefully, I will crash into him. That's my plan. I'm just gonna randomly roll 120 35 feet, and I'm gonna hope to crash into him.
Okay, I'll get you to roll a d4, and I have a particular number chosen whether or not you'll crash into him. So you technically have a 25% chance of this working. Unfortunately not. You run around the room, and you come into contact with nothing.
Okay. I will head
The D4 was to determine which direction he went.
Yeah.
So, he wasn't in that room, is what I'm saying. Your character has determined he's not there.
And I will spend another key point to keep running down the stairs.
Okay, you're gonna run down the stairs. Roll another D4. Or D3, technically.
I'm a lot quicker than him. I just have to run through everywhere.
Okay. You run down the stairs, and at this point you've gotten some people's attention, and you reach the bottom of the stairs, and you just see some confused people sitting around doing various tasks.
I'll run in the next 6 seconds. I'll run another 135 feet back up again into the light room.
Okay, roll a D2.
I think you lost him.
Maybe. But I'm Sonic, so I just have to keep running.
Unfortunately, no. Each time, just for the record, I chose the highest number that the dice could roll. So, each time you managed to fail. So it appears that either he doubled back on you somehow, or he's not where you think he is.
I guess I'll head up back to deck then.
Alright. I'll get you to make one more perception check. See if you notice him. Unfortunately, no. So, that's that night. And while that was happening, I'll just throw it to him. Juzai, you would have noticed him, the cursed captain, run down the stairs, stop for just like a second to take in his surroundings, and then run back up the stairs.
I just peek out of my room and go like, "What's going on, bud?"
I'm already gone.
Yeah, he's already gone.
Yeah.
So you'd have to follow him to.
No, I just wait until he comes back.
He doesn't come back. I mean, that's the choice that he already made. So he just decided to go back up. He didn't approach you or anything. So he doesn't come back for the rest of the night.
I have a second plan. I'm gonna leave all my important stuff by the cursed captain.
Okay, sure.
So
but that's for the next night. So when we get to the next night, then that'll happen.
Yes.
So, what do you plan to do? Did you roll 2 more sets?
No.
You didn't do that yet? Okay. So just roll 1 more for today.
That's an Arcana. Arcana, and don't fill me now. Okay. Oh wait, it's a disadvantage. It's true.
No. Oh yes, it is. Yes, it is. 13. And now it's your Tinkerer's Tools.
13.
Yeah, you're not making as much progress. Like, the idea is that you, ingeniously, if you say so yourself, which you do, came up with the day before. You're not making any further progress. You still are stuck on what spell is the proper spell. Perhaps you're just distracted, you're not sure. Or it might be the fact that you got absolutely no sleep the previous night, which technically, yes, that is the reason. at least the reason why you didn't gain any progress on the Arcana. But either way, yeah, you make 0 progress for the rest of the day. And before we get into your plan, we gotta get Curse Captain to make some perception checks.
Yeah, I just keep an extra eye at the door to see if I see the hunchback as well.
Okay, so roll at advantage, but to notice anything other than the hunchback, we have to take the first numbers.
Okay.
So you're rolling at advantage for the hunchback. Okay.
14, 17, 20.
Alright. Same thing for the hunchback. Whereas everything else, you didn't roll high enough to notice. So, anything like of note other than the hunchback at the same type of time of night, you see him do the same thing that he did last time. So you can interrupt him this time because you noticed him. If you want to like try to lock him in the captain's quarters or something, if you want to do that, you can.
So I noticed him. Where did I notice him, and how far away is it when I first saw him?
I'll say that you're 60 feet away,
60
and
feet.
he's coming up the steps. And
Okay.
you notice that the big thing that you notice is no one seems to be paying attention to him. Like, people are looking in his direction, and they aren't suspicious like you are. They're just sort of doing whatever it is they were doing. That's a big thing that you notice.
Okay. I will make an insight check to see if what type, how he's fighting, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Whilst I approach him slowly, or not directly towards him, but getting closer, within 45.
So that's your special ability to.
Yeah. He
okay.
needs to make a deception.
Okay. He rolled really low for his bonus, but still higher than your insight. So you look at him and he's... You even swear when you use this ability that you used before and easily determined someone's abilities. You just see like a flicker in your vision, and suddenly whatever ability you were attempting to use, which is your... I don't know the name of it, is why I'm saying that.
Empathic.
Yeah, it's called empathic. Your empath abilities, which is you using your key to supernaturally sense certain things about your opponent. You've used these keen abilities before with your key. You just see a flash in your vision, and suddenly you lost focus, and you look back at him, and he's just doing the same thing he was doing before. But you don't get the information that you wanted.
Okay. So yeah, I will just run straight up into melee with him, and I'm gonna ask him who he is. Like, I can move that far, and
Yeah, you can move. You can move that far before he gets to the door.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I'll just run down this way, and I'll ask him who he is. I've seen him on the ship earlier.
He looks up at you, and I'll get you to make an intelligence check.
Intelligence.
So straight intelligence.
It's the same.
Yeah, that's fine. It is. Do you have a negative bonus or anything?
No, it's a +1 either way.
Okay, so if it's the same number, I won't get you to reroll. With a 17, you remember that the captain was talking to somebody purposely that looked kind of strange.
He was talking. No, he was looking differently.
No, He was just obscured by shadow, so you couldn't see what he really looked like, this person,
Okay.
when
So,
you
yeah.
were looking at him before. But you just sort of connected the dot that perhaps this is who this is. But he turns to you, and he says, I'm here to talk to the captain. And he just sort of, like, turns his head slightly away from you to make it obvious that he isn't looking at you directly, but you can see his face, and it's covered in, like, perhaps boils or, like, cysts or pimples. You're not sure, but he has, like, lumps, and some of them are white, and some of them are just his skin color. You're not sure.
I would like to make an insight check to see if I get to feel like he's gonna make problems with the captain or anything like that.
Okay. He's not going to roll a deception, so... Alright. Yeah, you see that he is really weird looking. And it's kind of odd that nobody else seems to have noticed him. Perhaps it's because they were told about him and you weren't for some reason. You're not sure. That might be why. But I'm taking into account everything that's happening around you for this insight. And you're not entirely sure, but he's really hard to read. He's turning away from you, which tends to be a sign of deception, but he's speaking very softly, and he's not wavering in his tone of speech. It seems like he's being truthful in that way, but you're not entirely sure.
Okay. I'll go up and ask the captain then. I'll see if I can get a hold of him.
Okay, so you walk into the captain's quarters, which you can do, and he's working on a map. He's sitting. It's night, but it's not time to sleep night. He's got a lantern that lights up the room, and then he's got a candle near what he's working on, and he's just sort of looking at maps.
I'll tell him I saw a hunchback sneaking around. Does he know about them?
He goes, Terrence, come in. And as he shouts behind you, and you see the little figure just sort of inch his way into the room. And he goes, this is Terrence. And he sort of looks at you and just keeps going. And it seems like they know each other.
I will just leave. Sure.
Okay.
Problem solved.
Fair enough. Just so you're aware, no. It's not the same person. The person that you saw had like a half octopus face.
He might be using magic, who knows?
It's still possible, but Curse Captain decided to not investigate it further. So,
okay.
Yeah, I'll just leave a remark before I leave the door, and I'll just say I don't like people who are hard to read.
he just sort of turns around and he goes, "Argh," as he walks over, and he literally like spider monkeys almost up the chair leg and then climbs into the chair to sit in front of the captain. So he's not like, even a gnome probably wouldn't climb a chair that way if they were too short for the chair. So it's kind of weird, but otherwise you don't have 100% either way that he confirmed bad or Confirmed. Good. So you're not sure.
Yeah, I'll just be leaving, and then I'll go back and listen to the conversation, like if I can.
Okay. Make a perception check as you stand next to the door. And it's not like you're not allowed to stand next to the door, so I'm not gonna get you to roll a stealth. Nobody's gonna
Okay.
question you standing next to the door. So, with a 25, you hear, "Everything is going to plan, sir. What else do you need me to do?" And you hear the captain go, "Oh, just keep doing what you're doing. It seems to have gotten us this far." And he goes, "Yes, I surely will." And you hear him down the chair the same way that he climbed up. And you hear him scuttling across the floor. And you see the door open, but you're standing next to the door, and he just sort of glances at you and goes, and just continues past you.
Okay. So yeah, I will just go out on deck again, looking
Alright.
towards the sea.
Fair enough. So, this is, at this point, since he's not going to do anything else with the scene, this is when Juzai is going to try to plant all of his stuff next to the cursed captain. So
No,
you're just sort of...
I'm actually going to scavengers, knock on the door, and ask him to just watch over this bag I gave him.
Are you in your quarters, or are you sleeping on deck?
I'm probably not sleeping on deck, but I'll be staying on deck until late, so...
Okay.
Then I go to him on deck because I want to give it him personally so that he can watch over it.
Okay. So yeah, he's staying up a little bit later than probably most of the crew is, who's on day shift, if that makes sense. And he's just sort of sitting on deck. You know, that little pointy piece of wood that's on the front of sailing ships that I don't know what it's for. Shows my knowledge of ships. But anyway, he's yeah, it's near where the figurehead of the ship would be and all that stuff. Either way, he's sort of sitting near that area, near the front of the ship, as you approach.
Yeah, I just hold my bag and tell him, watch over this, it contains all my important stuff.
I take a look at the stuff. What's there?
You see, the bag is empty. Guess what bag I'm giving you?
The bag of holding, or?
There you go.
Yeah, so you're familiar. So when you look in the bag and see that it's empty, you realize,
I'm not
this
familiar.
Oh, you're not? Okay, that's fine.
But
so you just see an empty bag.
But it's heavy. Like there is, the bag is heavier.
There's something in it, but there's nothing.
It is a slight trick. Let me just show you. I reach with my hand into the bag and pull out my warhammer.
Yeah, and it looks like a Dr. Seuss type situation where the hammer is bigger than the bag, but it still comes out of the bag somehow.
Yes, it's magic. So yeah, put the hammer back into the bag and tell him just watch over the bag and make sure. Well, I don't get it for over the night.
So you don't want it?
No, I want my bag, but you know, things are going on with me, and I'm quote unquote misplacing my items. Just make sure that I don't get it for the night, at least.
You know what I'm gonna do?
For how long?
You know what I'm gonna do before you ask that question? Make an insight check.
Okay.
Since this is your character's specialty.
28.
Alright, if you wish to resist, you can.
I don't know what he's going to insight for.
He's inciting to see what's happening with you.
No, if he wants to discover that himself, I'm not going to resist him.
Okay, so with a 28, yeah. You see that he appears like he hasn't slept in a long time. He has the bags under his eyes. And he seems slightly erratic. And the fact that he's asking you to hold on to his items should tip you off that something weird is happening. So you know that something is off. But the specifics on what it is, you're not sure. But you clearly see that he looks like an insane person.
Just make sure I don't get it for the night. Just until I come to you in the morning, and I'm actually, well, no, speaking wouldn't be a very good idea. Just make sure it's after breakfast I get my bag back. Could you do that, Ben? And his connection is gone again.
Yeah, he's gone. I don't know how long he's been gone for, so that's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, I think he's gone for like half a minute. He was talking before.
Because I was describing stuff and I don't know how much of it he heard.
Yeah.
That's the frustrating part. Okay, this time he's actually gone.
Yeah,
he's
there
back.
we go.
Okay,
So,
I don't know if you guys saw that, but his face was still there, even though he was back again. So it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So, question: what did you get? What did you catch?
No, I was saying that but I already looked at them like a crazy person, so.
Oh,
okay.
So you did hear everything. Okay,
Okay,
that's fine.
so I tell you to hold onto my back until after breakfast, no matter what.
I will do that.
Good. I'm serious. The contents of the bag is more important than you can think.
Okay, you say that. Does Captain respond with anything, or just go back to?
No, he just looks at him with a straight face.
Okay.
Just don't do anything with it that I will get, frustrated about. So, good night.
Well, I can't promise that. You seem to be frustrated quite easily.
Just don't chuck it overboard.
Yeah, but okay, there.
Yeah, you froze for a second.
Internet's being shit today.
That's okay.
So I might have some more problems.
Okay.
That's all right. We'll take them as they come.
So then I just head to my quarters and go to sleep.
I'm just gonna reset the router. Maybe that'll help.
Okay.
So I go to my quarters, go to sleep. Even my save is empty. So that spirit has nothing to hide from me.
All right. Unfortunately, the next thing that's going to happen probably is you're going to take your rest, and he's going to spot you. So I will have to wait.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna grab a drink if you don't mind.
Oh, sure. Da-da-lee, da-da-da-da-da. Show tunes. So, yeah, for those watching, probably. Oh,
yeah,
there we go.
There we go. So,
Yeah, he just left to get a drink.
Okay.
But fortunately, he isn't necessary for this next part. Did you freeze? Looks like he's frozen again. Yeah. Well, that's fun. So as I was going to say... Oh, you're back!
I'm back. Also had to replace the bottle I used to get my drink from since that one was empty after that.
Oh, that's fine. Apparently Ben restarted his router, came back, and froze immediately.
Oh, great.
So that's fun.
So much fun!
He's typing to me. Which is fun!
So much fun!
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Spam email impersonating people I know. Go away, impersonation email.
Oh, be glad you only get the emails. Once they start calling, then they get annoying.
Oh, do people call you where you're from that impersonate people you know?
No. They impersonate to be Microsoft and such.
Oh, yeah. We got that here too.
Yeah. The first time it happened, I was like, I'm gonna troll the hell out of this guy. I just had it on the phone for more than 2 hours just to piss the hell out of them. Best 2 hours of my life.
Yeah, there was a video online of somebody doing something and or talking to one of those people, and he could do an Indian accent of the people, like the accent that the people have that usually do this kind of thing. And he actually convinced them that that the person that they called was in the same call center as them, and they actually managed to get to talk to the manager of the place, which is pretty hilarious. Yeah, so he is going to talk to his landlord, apparently.
Ah.
So that's why.
It's imploding there.
Yeah.
That's bad.
He said that he's only going to be 5 minutes, so
Make it 10.
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and wait a couple minutes for him to come back. Perhaps he's in one of those buildings that has like a building router.
Yeah.
That each person gets to then feed off of or something.
I can imagine. That would really eat up the connection if multiple people are using it, of course.
Yeah.
Oh.
So. Oh, are you back?
Yeah,
No,
I think
he's
so.
back.
I'm not sure if he's restarted yet or not. So if it disappears, he's probably turning it off.
Okay. Well, like I was about to say before you immediately went away again. Yeah. Let's see how much I can get through before you freeze.
He froze. Oh, not.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah.
It's like half a second.
It's not fixed yet. It's terrible.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, I'm gonna see how much I can get through before you go away again.
Yeah.
So, the next thing that happens is he goes to take his long rest, and you go into your room for your long rest, and immediately, as soon as you, lay down to fall asleep.
I use the bag as a pillow. Like, I make sure that's safe.
Okay. That's fine. He's asleep, so he doesn't know or care at the moment. However, you hear the door quietly open, and you just see him standing there on in the entrance to your room.
Okay. I'd like to make an insight check to see if he's going for the bag or not, or what he's trying to do.
Okay. You can roll that.
Do I need to roll anything against that?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. I basically wanted to. It keeps cutting out for like a second or two and then goes back. It's really annoying. But yeah, I mean, trying to use this, so he has to make a deception against it.
Which I'm very bad at. Net 20. Nope.
Okay, so yeah, you get the information described there. You have advantage on attack rolls against him.
Oh.
You are now robot, or you were for a second.
Yeah. It's fine now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Okay. So yeah, if it gets any worse, like if it keeps cutting out more, I could use my phone, but then I wouldn't be able to roll. So somebody would roll for me then.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, if it comes to that.
So yeah, what were you about to say?
You said if it becomes worse than something.
No, what were you guys about to say?
Oh, what I was about to say was, you have advantage on attack rolls and ability checks against him.
Yes.
So, what do you want to do with that? You don't know if he's going directly for the bag or not, based on that ability.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll just lay there for a bit, watching him.
Okay. He approaches the side of your bed, almost robotically. And now I'm going to attempt to see how this goes. To get Geo to do a role-playing thing here. I'm going to allow you, under these circumstances, to play your character again. Your character just wants the bag, and he wants it back immediately, but he is going to act otherwise no different than he normally does. So I'm going to let you take over that.
Okay. I specifically told him not to give him back no matter what, so he's not going to give back. I can already see that happen.
Yes, but you are now yourself, and you want the bag back before the time specified. So your character has to come up with a reason why it would be okay for him to get the bag back.
Okay.
I already think of a solution that would work, but yeah, your ideas. So
yeah. So I walk up to him and tell him I need the bag right now.
I will tell you no.
I need it right now. I'm having an epiphany. Is that the word you use for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. And I will tell you, go back to your room and get some sleep.
I need the bag right now. Just give it.
Now go back and get some sleep, or must I do it for you?
Well, it's either going to turn out one way or another.
Very well then. And I would like to quickly get back up and use my insight to punch the shit out of him.
Your insight.
Yes, his insight does give him advantage on strikes against you. Unfortunately.
This is my insight, 21, 26, and 29, and 22.
Okay, so technically your character wasn't ready for that, so he unfortunately doesn't have his armor on, so
Yep.
I assume all of those hit.
All of them hits.
And
Even with
con save
armor.
or be stunned.
Alright, make a constitution save. Alright, he got a 9, so he is stunned.
Okay, so and then this, and then a critical, and then another hit. Are you still up?
Let me actually calculate that.
Okay, 9 plus 11, 9 plus 9 plus 12, plus 12, plus 2, plus 12, plus 12, plus 9, plus 6.
Oh, I'm not up anymore. After turn him out, I'm already out.
Okay, so he falls to the floor unconscious.
Okay, and I will drag him back to his room.
Alright, you drag
And I
him
will-
back.
I will just toss him in there and go back to my room.
Alright, you fall asleep. However, an hour later, you hear someone stumbling, and he approaches the door frame again. Now, how would you react if you just wanted the bag back innocently, and he just punched you in the face a bunch of times?
Hulk smash.
Do you want to hit him? You have 1 hit point, by the way.
Oh yes, I'm going for the hit.
Okay, so are you putting your armor on at this point?
No, I only have my gauntlet on, thinking that will be enough.
Okay, so you notice him enter the room. However, he just has this metal gauntlet on, and he attempts to strike you. So go ahead.
13.
That misses. And I will punch you back.
All right, is that all you can do on your turn before?
Can you do anything else?
I have an extra attack.
Yeah,
Okay.
try to hit again.
Roll the damage for that attack. Alright. So he hits you for that much damage. However, you know that he only has 1 hit point. Just by looking at him, how haggard he is. As he enters. You can attack him back. It is now your...
I'm mentally asleep, but physically...
You will about to be physically asleep too, as I punch him in the jaw.
Okay. Roll to hit him. Oh, well, that's fine.
I punched him out of my door into the hallway.
Yeah. And at this point, there are a few people who have noticed that there's a fight happening and exit the rooms to see what's happening. And they're just sort of looking at you, expectant of an answer as to what's happening.
Does he know I'm not me?
I will just look back and forth in the hallway and shut my door.
Alright.
That's the explanation I'm giving.
Okay, so one of the crew members you hear, because he doesn't hear anything. He doesn't know any of this is happening yet. So one of the crew, you hear one of the crew members approach him, and you hear him say, "Are you all right?" As you, and I assume, enter your bed and then fall promptly asleep.
No, I'm not sleeping now.
Okay, so you lay down in your bed, or are you just gonna stand in the room?
Actually, I will change locations in the room so I'm not visible immediately.
Okay, so I'll say that there's a little alcove that you can hide yourself in.
Sure.
And you just shove yourself in there. If you want to make a stealth check, you can. Alright. So, you hear the other crew member lift the body off the floor and move him into the bed, and then go back to sleep. After you assume that he checked him to see if he was still alive and noticed that he was, and then went right back to bed. You then hear about an hour later, same thing happens. You hear him stumble out of the bed. Now, I know that you probably did do something with it and just didn't say, but what did you do with the bag?
Yeah, it's just behind me on the floor there, like in the alcove.
Okay, so you're hiding with the bag. That's fine. I'll allow that. Because I wouldn't just say, well, you didn't say anything, so the bag
So
is
the
on
bag
the
is
bed.
in the hallway. No, it's in the
Yeah.
hallway with him. I threw it out with him.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. But anyway, yeah, you hear him stagger into the hall. You hear him try the door. Is the door still unlocked?
No, it's locked.
Okay, you hear him try the door. Unfortunately, his thieves' tools are also in the bag. So, he can't pick the lock. So then you hear him stumble down the hallway.
Sure.
Alright. Do you do anything else? Or just stay in the room?
No, I just sit down in that little alcove, try to be quiet. Like in
Oh, wait, hold on a minute. I can still use my racial ability of Misty Step.
Yeah, you have to see the area you're trying to.
Yeah,
Can't I just see through the lock?
Well, yeah, technically.
Potentially, but I'm gonna override this and say that whatever is controlling you didn't think to do that. So you hear him stumble down the hallway, and then you hear him stumble up the stairs, and then nothing. Because unfortunately, you can't hear what's going on the upper floor. So if you want to do anything from there, you can. However, you were smart and locked the door, so your stealth doesn't really matter. He's just gonna go somewhere else and do something else.
Yeah, sure. I just sit down cross-legged next to the wall there with the bag behind me, and I try and rest.
Okay, so you start your rest. A few minutes go by. Make a perception check. Alright. You hear something outside the door.
What do I hear?
Sounds like something clanging against the doorknob.
Against my doorknob?
Yes.
Okay. I go and open the door.
Alright. Here is what you see. You see Juzai standing, kneeling down next to the door with a jar in his hands that has a little piece of metal in it.
Oh, punch him in the face.
Oh no!
Alright.
Oh no!
You punch him in the face?
Yes.
Alright. Roll to hit him. And you can use all your strikes for that turn, if you want.
That hits.
16 hits? Alright, if 16 hits, then you knock him unconscious.
Okay.
However, in your haste, the thing that was in his hand gets knocked to the floor.
Oh no.
The little piece of metal just dangles across the floor.
I close the door and I lock it.
Oh no.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
That's fair. You have not told him that you are carrying, basically anti-magic creatures on the ship.
Yeah. The thing is, if they get on the bag will spit out everything.
Well, you didn't tell me keep termites away from them. You told me do not give it to you, so that's what I'm doing. So I will
Yeah.
return to my room,
All right.
locking the door.
Oh
Luckily, nobody heard this. It was a very quick exchange. And it's not like there was a scuffle or anything like there was last time, so nobody opens their doors to check and see what's happening. However, make a perception check.
Perception.
Yes. I'd say that's enough. You notice about a half hour later, you see these weird looking specks on the floor. And they're approaching the bag.
Have I seen anything like them before, or would I know what they are?
Make a either nature or arcana, whichever.
It's the same, so 4.
No, you have no idea what these things are.
But they're going for the bag for some kind of weird
Yes.
reason.
They are heading towards the bag.
Perhaps Juzai finally invented tiny mechanical droids that he can teleport.
Well, you don't. I'll just say that your character doesn't know what they are, and they seem to be heading towards the bag. And you did notice that Juzai had this weird jar and was attempting to do something, so you can draw your own connections as a character.
Okay.
But you don't know what they are.
Yeah, they just seem like bugs.
The description of them that I gave Juzai when he originally encountered them is that they kind of look like miscolored specks on the floor.
Oh, miscolored specks.
But
Okay.
they're moving. Like they seem to be moving towards the bag.
In
They're
that
like
case, I'll try and stomp on the closest one to see what happens.
yeah, they kind of look like the size of fleas, except for they have like a slight glow to them. Either way, and they don't jump like fleas do. They just sort of walk along the floor or move.
Yeah, I'll try and stomp on the closest one to see what happens. 23 to stomp.
All right, yeah. You kill a cluster of them. However, there is a huge cluster of them. It's kind of like in those movies or shows where the ants have found something in a house, and there's just a line of them. There's a line of them going from the doorknob towards that current position where you started stomping on them.
Well, since these are bugs, then I'm just gonna try and scare them. So, wisdom save for the bugs.
Okay.
All of the books that this 1 million saves.
I'm just gonna roll one for the swarm of them. So they have a chance, but they did not succeed. So 3.
So yeah,
They are afraid of you.
And I think
For
they want to
one
go
turn.
back in the jar. No, that's true.
So they run away for 1 turn.
For 6 seconds.
and I will do it again because I can do it in limited times. So I'm just gonna keep making them run away if they get close.
Okay. So next turn, fail. Next turn, fail.
Fail.
Next turn,
Fail.
fail. And next turn, fail. I'll say at that point they have all exited the room. Through the doorknob, by the way.
Okay. So yeah, I will. Yeah, that solved itself.
All right. They have exited the room, so fortunately for you, they are not attacking your bag of holding. And you go back to sit down next to it, and they do not re-enter the room. It's not like after that 6 seconds, they decided to re-enter the room. You scared them off so many times successfully that they are they're not willing to re-enter the room. Seems that they have learned that you're too scary and just ran away. So, you can attempt to rest if you want. However, you have a feeling that in the next half hour he is going to.
Yeah, it's probably
get back
gonna
up.
like I'm dozing. I'm not sleeping. I'm just
Yeah, that's
kind of
fair.
dozing off.
All right. Next hour, you hear some shuffling outside the room. Then you hear someone walk away from the area that is next to the door, and then you hear him go down the stairs, and about 10 minutes later you hear him come back up the stairs, walk past your room, go up the stairs, then about 20 minutes later come back down the stairs and walk back into his room and close the door.
Sure.
Did you want to interrupt at any point?
No.
Okay. He goes back into his room. And
I
the door
assume I
shuts.
still have the bag, so that's fine.
Yep. You still have the bag. Okay. So, I'll say that you both get your long rests. So, any key points that you would have used are back.
Oh yeah, that thing I killed was a creature, right?
Which thing? Oh, those little specks?
Yeah.
Yeah, the little specks are technically creatures.
Because then I get temporary HP. That's why.
Okay, I'll say that you get one usage of the temporary hit points thing from killing one creature.
Wait, no, he quote unquote killed me.
No, it doesn't count
yeah,
on
technically when I knock you unconscious too. So yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Does it actually count on unconscious? Like knocking someone unconscious?
I'm pretty sure.
Or does it have to be that
check.
they're? Does it have to be that they're actually dead? Because if it
reduced to 0 hit points. So
okay, if it's reduced to 0 hit points, then yeah, each of the times that you reduced him to 0 hit points, you would have gotten it as well.
yeah, but it doesn't stack, so it's not like I have a limited HP.
Okay.
Only one of it at a time.
Okay, so if it doesn't stack, then yeah, you have the maximum amount that you could get.
It would have been OP if I could just go up and kill a rat swarm and get like 1 billion HP. That's what.
I wasn't sure how it worked, so yeah, that's fine. So, does the temporary hit points last even if you take a long rest?
Yeah, okay. Until I lose them.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So you get back to full hit points because he technically did punch you, but I don't know if that would have taken down your temporary hit points or not, whatnot. So it would have just put your temporary hit points back. So in the end, no matter what the results were, it would have put you back to full anyway. So you both awaken. Juzai awakens a little bit earlier due to the fact that Captain woke up multiple times to punch you in the face. Though, make a medicine check, Juzai, on yourself.
Oh boy.
Because technically you got a long rest, so you would have healed, but you might...
17.
Yes, you do detect that your nose and jaw feel a little sore. And they didn't when you went to sleep.
I just think I might have laid wrong on my bed.
Okay, that's fine. Make a perception check, Juzai.
Perception. Oh boy. 14.
Yeah, this is clear enough. You see a jar sitting on the desk next to your bed, and it's empty.
Internal screaming intensifies.
You don't inherently recognize the jar, or you know what the jar is based on what's inside it, which is nothing. So you don't recognize this jar, not initially.
Yeah,
But
once I
you
once I
can
wake
have
up,
suspicions, but you don't know what the jar is.
I
But it's empty.
slowly go for the jar and lift it and take a closer look at it.
All right, you can examine the jar. Make an investigation. That's the one.
24.
Yeah, this jar is empty. There's a weird ding in the side of it. And you look around the room and you see that there's a little chunk of glass laying on the floor. And you go and pick up the piece of glass and you match it to the little piece that's out of the jar.
And cast mending on it.
Alright, the jar is complete.
Do I somewhere find the cap?
You see the cap laying on the floor outside of your room.
Grab it and put it together. Do I recognize it now? What it should be? Once it's put back together?
You recognize that it's a jar. It's not descript. Your glass blowers tend to make the jars pretty uniform. It's not like there's any unique marks on it. It's a jar that you guys on the ship would have.
Just to put my suspicion at ease, go and check on the mites.
Okay, you go to the place where the engineers or artificers are, and you see that the safe is open.
Internal screaming intensifies even more.
One of the artificers is sitting there and notices that you have this extremely shocked look on your face, and the color has drained from your skin, if any is visible. And he goes, you opened it.
Is there something that could satisfy as like red alert handle, full panic mode?
You want to make an alert on the whole ship?
No, like let
Or-
the whole artificer crew know that things are bad and going down.
Well, unless if you want to alert the whole ship, then the only way is to tell someone to tell all the artificers to.
So I walk up to this guy that's there and just tell him in the most calm voice, all the magic items on this ship are not safe this very moment. This jar is not filled up again with the mites.
He goes, you're the one who took it. Shouldn't you know what happened?
I just tell him that I've been speaking with Terrence, and his friends are inside my head, if you get my drift.
Technically, his name is Denny.
Oh, Denny.
Yeah, the crazy guy is Denny. This other guy is has a different name. So it's a different person.
I just tell him, Denny's friends are in my head.
And he goes,
catching my drift.
why did you talk to Denny?
I just grab him by the shirt and say, that's not important now, unless you want to have a sunken ship with you on board on it.
He goes, right, do you want me to alert the whole ship, or...
Just nod.
Okay, so you just told him to alert the whole ship. So, he walks...
I am going to search the whole damn ship for those mites.
Okay. You start searching the ship. However, before that, he walks over to a bell, and he just rings the bell. And everyone on the ship starts panicking. And it is now at this point that, Cursed Captain, you hear the alarm bell, which is literally a bell that is at certain points of the ship that, when rung, is to indicate that there is an emergency.
Okay. I take the bag with me and I run to deck to the front of the ship.
Okay, so while this is happening, everybody's panicking, not sure what's happening. Even the people who were just about to go to sleep or were asleep at that point are rushing out of their beds, looking around, trying to figure out what's happening. Mass hysteria basically ensues. So first, what we're going to do is what area do you want to search first, Juzai?
I'm just going to search the cannons, all the cannons first, from the lowest part to the highest part of the ship.
Okay.
I'm just going systematic bottom, then slowly work my way up.
Okay, so you head to the bottom of the ship, or at least the lowest cannons, since you specified cannons, because technically there's a cargo area below that has no cannons.
Let's just be double safe. Go there.
You want to go to the cargo area?
Yeah.
Okay. Technically, at the moment, all that's there is crates of supplies. Nothing that you would assume is enchanted just by a quick glance, but you could try to investigate, see if anything's enchanted down here.
Oh, I don't need to investigate. Let me
Alright.
just do my ritual detect magic.
Okay. However, it still requires an investigation just to see how well you use your detect magic. To see if you see anything.
That's 21.
You see a weird aura in the back of the ship.
Head over
The
there.
cargo area. Alright, you go over there. You see. Make a perception check.
Perception. 11.
You see a weird outline. Nothing else. It looks kind of like a drawing of a hunchback, maybe? A very small one. Maybe it's a statue that's invisible? You're not sure.
I'm just gonna reach for it.
Alright, you touch it, and you hear. And it moves, the outline. However, you don't see anything. You just see the outline.
I'm just going to look at it and go to touch it again, like, the hell is this again?
Alright, you try to touch it again, and it goes. Stop it!
Why are you invisible?
He just sort of lowers his head, the outline, and becoming visible. This is the guy that you noticed that was kind of suspicious looking, that the captain was talking to, and you actually witnessed a part of the conversation. And he sort of vanished as soon as he noticed you were approaching on the island. However, he becomes visible.
So, yeah, what were you talking about with the captain button? Why are you down here, of all places?
I'm protecting the ship.
From what?
Your enemies?
Ah, well... Would an enemy in my head count as well?
Do you hear voices?
To make it very simple to you, yes, I talk with Danny.
He goes, I don't know who that is, but you might just have schizophrenia.
No, I'm pretty sure Danny's friends are in my head.
He walks over and touches you and casts a spell. You can attempt to identify the spell.
Sure.
We're using counterspell.
Or
No,
you can try to stop him if you don't want it, but
no, I'm just gonna let it. If he's trying to help, then Arcana it will be. 9.
you're not sure what the spell is. And he goes, yeah, you're schizophrenic, as he starts walking out of the...
Right, and that's why I can say this. That's why I know deep speech.
He turns around. That's a product of it. And he continues walking.
Okay, I'm not gonna risk it, and I'm not gonna talk to you in deep speech just to be safe.
He continues walking.
Yeah, I just let him walk and continue my search for the mites.
Alright. That's all the magic in this area.
Okay. Continue my search.
Okay, you walk up to the next floor. And you begin looking at the cannons. Since you still have Detect Magic on, you notice that none of the cannons have any part that is magical.
Oh, for fuck's sake. So I start looking around for those mites that are, because I'm guessing they're on the cannons by now.
Yeah, you. The reason I told you that, rather than saying that you see mites all over it, is because you're looking at the cannons from a distance using your spell. And you see that none of the components appear to be magical, which you would normally see that they are. So you approach, and you look for the mites, and you see that each one of them is just covered in
Let's see, what weapon could I sacrifice?
them. You hear a voice in the back of your head. Just give in.
I'm gonna mentally backhand him again, trying to.
Alright, wisdom.
Wisdom save, was it?
Yep.
Nope.
He goes, stop trying that. You're not able to stop me. Not with those petty attempts.
Just frustrated trying to hit him.
Are you trying to hit him? Physically?
No, mentally.
Okay. That's what your wisdom save was for, so you keep trying, but it doesn't succeed. You just hear him laughing as you keep attempting.
Just gribble, continue my search. Just continue to start scraping off the mites.
Okay. And unless if you use a magical item that is more potent than the item that you're trying to get them off of, unfortunately, you're scraping
Longsword.
attempts. Yeah, you're scraping attempts if you don't use a magical item.
Yeah, the longsword +2.
Okay. I was just going to say that if you attempt to do that, they'll just multiply faster than you're able to scrape them off.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and attract them onto it and then try and get them in the jar.
Okay, make a dexterity check.
Something I'm so not good at. But got a 14.
You managed to get one cannon free, however, now the sword is the equivalent of inert.
Just try and shake them into the jar.
You get some in the jar, however, they multiply back onto the sword as well.
Just try and get all of the mites onto the sword before, and then, well, get them all into the jar.
Alright, you go to the next one. They aren't attracted to the sword anymore.
Fuck.
Alright, and at that point, I'm going to switch to the Kurt's captain as you try to think up an idea of how to deal with the situation. Captain, you're on deck. What specifically are you attempting to do?
I'm just looking to see what's happening.
Alright, everybody's panicking. That's what's happening.
Yeah, so I'm going to the front of the ship and I'm looking out towards the sea.
Alright, make a perception check. Alright, this thing is pretty obvious. Even without a spyglass, you see a ship on the horizon.
Okay. Do I see any identification, like flags, that sort of thing?
At this distance, you would need a spyglass to even attempt to do that.
Okay, so I will jump up towards the spy nest, or
Okay.
get up there.
Yeah, there's a guy with a spyglass currently attempting to look around, see if he can notice what the emergency is, because apparently the communication at the moment is not spot on.
I just take a spyglass
Okay, you take the spyglass from him.
and I look at the flags. What do I see?
Okay, make a perception check. It's a secondary one. Alright. Yeah, this time, with the spyglass, you can easily see it's the same flags as the ship that had a bunch of bounty hunters on it, maybe, that you fought before, earlier in the week.
And how is the ship looking?
It looks perfectly repaired.
Okay. So yeah, I just yell out down towards the captain and say we should turn around.
Alright, you yell down that you should turn the ship around. The ship starts turning, and somebody is currently climbing up the crow's nest to see where you are.
The Rubold guys again. They're back.
Alright, and the person eventually gets to the top of the crow's nest, and it's the captain. And he says, "Let me see." And he takes the spyglass from you, unless if you want it for some reason.
No.
Alright,
No,
he
just
takes
punch
it from
him
you.
out and
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could do that if you wanted to. But
No.
anyway, he takes the spyglass, looks through it, puts the spyglass down, and he goes, "I guess this is what the emergency's about. All hands on deck. We have a situation."
I tell him if we want to try and outrun the ship, we could use our 2 prisoners, just dump them in the ocean. They will probably go and try and rescue them.
You're a pretty devious sort. Glad to have you on my crew. As he pats you on the back, and he says, "Bring the prisoners on deck." As he starts climbing back down the crow's nest. Alright, so it is at that point where we switch back to Juzai. You hear the order for people to get on deck and to bring the prisoners on.
I sadly not have to just ignore that since I'm basically saving the ship.
Okay. So what's your next idea? Come up with anything?
It's gonna be so horrible. Lure it with parts of my gauntlet.
Okay.
It's like a big thing. I can like summon it in parts to just lure it. Lure the mites.
Yes, you can attempt to do this. However, as I've said, if you disenchant certain parts of your suit, it might not be a good situation.
I know. That's why I picked the gauntlet, because a gauntlet is part of my suit.
Mm-hmm.
The gauntlet is way cheaper than the suit.
Alright, it's the same check. It's a dexterity to see if you can pull your hand back fast enough before the mites jump onto it.
15.
This time you manage to succeed, and I'll give you a couple cannons. You manage to pull the mites off of a couple of the cannons. You put them back in the jar, and the jar is like half full of these mites, but you notice that the level of them starts to go down after a while.
Yeah, I just keep going until I have all the mites.
Okay. You have about half the cannons on this level. And so you assume that you're going to need to do that at least 2 more times before you complete this level, and you have 2 more levels.
So in total it would be 9 times, so 8 more times. Okay.
However, you failed, and now your gauntlet is inert. And any spells...
Like I said, in parts, I'm going to do my gauntlet. I'm not going to instant the whole gauntlet.
Okay. One of your fingers is inert.
Bugger. Next finger.
Alright. You managed to succeed.
Floor 1 safe. Next floor.
Fail. So that one's gone. Fail. So that one's gone. Fail. So that one's gone. You got one more finger. Fail. So that one's gone.
Great, now we come to the palm.
Yes. Fail. So your entire gauntlet is now inert.
What else do I have? Literally, I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just want more. One more.
Well, I have the bag, so I probably have most of your stuff.
Yes, you do. Fuck.
And you're not getting it back until breakfast.
After breakfast, yes.
And guess what? Breakfast might be delayed.
I just need one more cannon.
You can try and summon your suit, but that might not be a...
Finally.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna say that the rest of your suit comes in one piece.
Don't feel me, don't feel me, don't feel me, don't feel me, I don't want to.
You have failed. Your suit is now considered inert. So any magical essence that gives you bonus to your DC or AC is gone. Any spells that you would cast using your suit or gauntlet,
Back on the cannon, back on the cannon. Fuck.
so anything that your suit would do is now inert.
Yeah, that's too big of a risk.
It's still plate mail, but any enchantment, so your +2, that was being given by this magical alloy is gone.
+2. Was the +1?
Was it +1 or +2? Either way, that is gone. And your suit is completely covered in these mites.
Fuck. Wait, they can swim. They can't swim.
You can try that.
Yes, I am going to do that. I'm just gonna jump in the water with my suit.
Okay. Do you warn anybody that this is happening?
I just warned one person that I'm saving the cannons from the mites.
Okay, so you jump out a window or whatnot,
Yep.
and you jump directly into the water. You begin sinking. However, the mites still seem attached after a minute, and you see the ship getting further and further away.
A good thing I have this. How fast is the ship moving?
Ship's moving approximately 40 feet per movement.
I can keep up if I dash.
Can you move underwater doing that? Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, you can swim. That's right. However, you are also sinking because you are wearing plate armor, which is not very buoyant. So, unfortunately, some of the abilities where you can float to the top of the water or anything like that, those things are gone.
Watch. I should have thought of that.
You can wait another minute, but if you choose to wait another minute, you will have to get back to the ship.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna try and see how long these mice can hold out longer than me.
Alright. You hold out another minute.
They're very tiny lungs.
Make an Arcana check.
I said Arcana. 17.
These things don't have lungs. They're not living creatures. They're animated by magic.
Okay, let's see how much this is gonna cost me. This
And,
joke.
by the way, to be fair, I did explain this to you in the first session we had of this.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, I know. But
This is how Juzai dies.
these creatures are not technically living creatures. They are just specks of anti-magic that are somehow animated, like how an elemental can be animated. This anti-magic is somehow animated, and that's what they are.
You want to know how much the joke cost me currently? 1,025 gold pieces.
You hear a voice in the back of your head. I can solve this situation for you. Just give in.
I'm basically gonna flip him off. Like, this is all your fault.
What's your constitution modifier?
1.
You are now considered drowning.
Oh, fudge. I'm going to the surface a bit. Is there anything I can salvage that isn't magical? No, I need the suit.
You need to get back to the boat is your next priority.
No, wait. I have air tanks on that thing.
Yes, you do. However, your suit is magically inert, and your suit just let out all the air as soon as it went magically inert.
What? Damn it!
Yes, your suit is not just mechanical, it is also magical. So the magic components just let go, and your suit just drained all the air out of it.
I think it's 1 plus his con modifier, so technically he should be able to hold his breath 2 minutes.
Which he did. He held it
a minute
to see if the things would drown, and then he held it for the second minute. So.
Yeah, okay.
I'm basically gonna boil to the surface without the suit.
Okay. So you discard your suit?
Yep. There goes the joke of 1,025 gold pieces.
You hear the voice as you start disassembling the parts of your suit. I can fix this. Just let me.
At what cost?
I can give you the cost if you'd like.
That's what
He's
I'm
basically
asking.
saying he can give you an exact amount of what it's going to cost you.
That's what I'm asking. At what cost?
He says, your mind? Well, just a little bit.
Like you already did before? Like you're not already occupying a part of my mind?
This time it'll be permanent.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Not only that, I could help you deal with that. And you look forward and you see another ship beginning to approach your ship. At a distance, but you're underwater, so you can see it.
Just involuntarily eye twitching at this moment. This is all.
Funny thing is, this all could have been avoided if you would have just let him disenchant your bag. Because that's all he wanted to do.
No, he's not getting my bag. My bag is too precious.
Also, you could have just communicated better, told him there might be mice, and I might have done something more about it.
I didn't know that would have happened. I should have known he would have gone for the mice again.
He tampered with them the previous
already
night.
Once.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Or give some more information that you're actually getting mind controlled during the night. You're not yourself. I just thought you went off like a crazy person.
I told you that I'm not being myself lately.
Yeah, you're not being yourself lately, but you're
Guess what?
generally weird.
People who are depressed say, I haven't been myself lately. It doesn't mean that they have a god controlling
Yes.
in the middle of the night.
Oh god, I'm so stoned. I need to find this joke has cost me way too much.
I think you need to work on your communication skills. I'm
As
just
you
saying.
disassemble another part of your suit, he says, please just give in.
You know, I fought for my freedom, so I'm not gonna give you a damn thing. Would you say giant blood vials would be magical?
Giant what?
Giant fire blood vials?
Oh, the vials of giant fire giant blood. Not enough to get them attracted away from your suit.
Okay, what else do I still have those ice picks from that the assassin used.
Yeah. That the cursed captain just punched to death.
Yep, I don't think they're magical.
It was
No.
their time to die. It's not my doing.
Yes, I am aware. However, they're not magical.
I need to something float in the water to actually indicate where my suit is at the moment so that I can retrieve it for later. For fuck's sake.
The voice says, it's not really that bad. Trust me.
You know, I use my mind to build stuff.
I can make you build greater things. And more easily.
I swear to God, I'm gonna regret this. I'm so gonna regret this.
Do
First thing...
you accept?
No, I'm gonna want it. First thing I do once I get my hands on a wish spell is wish you away.
He goes, pity. So much money wasted. Not to mention possibly your friends. As you witness the two people getting closer to each other.
Now he's actually playing on something that's actually a very big character dilemma. Because he's playing on my pirate side. So Juzai just is silent for a moment and then goes like, you mentioned money.
He says, well, how much is it going to cost to build a new suit?
Well, 1,025 gold pieces.
Is that the enchantment or the whole thing?
That's just the whole thing without any enchantment.
Yeah, that's cool.
He goes, I will have made you that money by saving your suit.
If you help me with build more things more easily, make me... God, I'm still gonna regret this one way or another, aren't I?
You hear the voice saying, ultimate knowledge is mine. You have to simply accept. And at that moment is when... Have either of you heard of the new Call of Cthulhu game?
Yes, I have.
Played it a bit.
Yeah, imagine if you're in a similar situation to the characters in that, and an option is appearing on the screen. Accept or decline. He is giving you an option at this moment. If you hit accept, he will give you powers. If you hit decline, you'll still be in the situation you were in before.
I'm so torn about this. Oh god. Just come over to bed for a moment because I need to think about this because I'm literally torn to pieces about this.
That's fair. Okay, Cursed Captain. You're standing on the deck of the ship. And you see them approaching. The other ship is approaching you, and you guys have an idea. At least the captain does. And you guys are still heading towards them. You're purposely heading towards them. What he's hoping to do is barter with them using their prisoners.
Oh.
If you don't want him to do that, you can attempt to change it before.
I meant to ask him when I asked him earlier to like toss them out in the sea, so they would have to go off course to pick them up if they wanted them, and then we would go away.
Okay, sure.
That's kind of idea I had. So we would try to flee, but we would toss them out, so they not at the same time, but separately, so they would have to change course in order to save their lives. If they didn't, they would end up drowning.
Okay,
was my idea.
That's fair. So he gets them brought to the deck. But before he does that, he says, "Should we give them their armor back, or just let them swim without armor?"
You know what? Armor is heavier. Let's equip them.
He nods, and their armor is brought up. It takes a few minutes for them to get fully equipped again. They're currently in chains. And he gets them to walk the plank.
One at a time.
Yes. And he magically releases their chains, and the chains come back. And it's one of the few things on the ship that hasn't been affected. And they're ordered to jump off the ship. And since they see that someone is coming to rescue them, they have a chance. So this is their best chance to get away. So they each jump off the ship.
We just let one of them at first.
Yeah, at first.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say a few minutes later, then you let the other one go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you let the first guy go. He falls off, and he appears to be having a hard time swimming, due to the armor. But you think that he'll survive as long as the other ship goes off course, to save them. The other guy waits on the gangplank, and this is the gangplank, I think it's called that. Either way, he turns, and this is the guy who had the shield, and he goes, "You barbarians. You do this to us." And the captain goes, "You did this to yourself," as he pokes him in the back with the sword and falls off the plank. And they're both now swimming in the water, having a hard time keeping above water. So Juzai, I'll say that you witnessed this, just as an aside. You see the two people fall in the water, but you see that the ships are still chasing. Like, it's still in pursuit at the moment that you're doing this. And I'm gonna get you to... Oh, I'm gonna do it. Since it's NPCs that are making the decision. Yeah, they're not gonna chase you yet. But it appears as though they have, like, ropes already on the sides of the ship. And as soon as they pass by the first guy, they start pulling him up, and then they immediately turn to go towards the other guy, and then eventually you. So they're a little bit behind, but they're still keeping chase.
Okay. Is there any, like, storms or something we could go and run into?
Let's see. I'll roll for that. Why not?
Okay, I'm screwed.
You know what? Sure. I'll consider that a success. Yeah, you see off, just barely on the horizon, weird looking storm. Kind of looks familiar, however.
Is that really a storm you want to go for?
It's not as big, but looks similar in shape to the other one that you encountered before.
Let's use the storm as cover, I tell the captain, and I point towards it.
Let's see if the captain realizes. I'm just going to roll a d20. Yeah, he goes, "Wait, isn't this your curse?"
Well, perhaps, but either way, it's still better to use the cover of the storm.
He looks at you angrily and then goes, "I hate it when you're right." And he walks back up to the navigator area to try to help the navigator get through the storm. So, Juzai, have you thought of anything?
I'm going with option 3, capture.
Capture what?
Being captured.
Oh, okay. You can attempt to do that. However, you are still in a suit of armor that is weighing you down. It might be a little easier if you remove that, but that's up to you. You can still attempt to move with the armor, if you wish.
So what I'm gonna do is try and save one of the gauntlets of, well, arms of the armor. I guess I can swim with one of the arms, right?
You can. I mean, you could swim with the whole armor on if you want, but if you just want to save that one part, you
Oh yeah,
can.
then would if I can swim to the surface with it, because I have a ridiculous high strength.
Okay. Yeah, you can swim to the surface with it. I would say that you trained in heavy armor, so you can swim to the surface with it. It's just that if you have to make any athletics stuff, it'll be a disadvantage because you're wearing heavy armor.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be there and let them capture me. I at least have something to, well...
Alright, well, here's what happens.
I have bargaining chips, so to say.
They go and rescue their former prisoners from the water, and they go in a different direction than where you are. They don't go towards you.
Well, good thing I can still cast my own magic. And that is, I'm gonna lob at them chromatic orb. I think it's still broken. So let me actually grab on you, Grit.
It's 3d8 if you're doing it first level.
Yep, first level. That's definitely what I'm going to do, just to get our attention.
Oh, and just so you're aware, you're about 100 feet away. Can you still hit them?
Yeah, I think
90.
chromatic orb is pretty 90, so nearly.
It's enough to get their attention, I hope.
You can try.
You could pick like elements like thunder that makes a loud thundering noise, I would assume.
Yeah. So slash roll 3d8.
So your chromatic orb's still broken?
Yeah, it's still broken.
Okay. So you deal 9 thunder damage to an area of water that has nothing in it?
Yep, just to get their attention, like, the wave just suddenly moved. How odd.
Yeah, you see the ship notice this, and they continue on their way. They're not gonna steer into a thunder clap just because they heard one when they're in the middle of a pursuit.
You can try and shout at them or something.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna help a lot.
Depends what you shout at them. And if they hear it.
Adaptable armor.
I mean, for all they know, you could be another prisoner that they dumped.
Okay, let me think about it. You know, one of my upgrades to my suit is that I can just move my normal speed in water and such, right?
Unfortunately, anything that has to do with enchantments, which that does, because there are enchantments that cause that, are inert.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and just force it to get into place like that, and perhaps damage the suit, but still work. I hope.
Okay. You can attempt to do something.
Mhm.
What are you attempting to do?
Well, trying to get it to be more movable in water so that I can at least have my 30 feet in it.
Yeah, I'm saying that I'll allow you to attempt to do something, but you have to try to do something in order for you to attempt to make it work properly.
Tinker tools. I'm gonna tinker with the suit like MacGyver it, so to say.
Okay, so you're fiddling around with the suit. Okay, I'll get you to roll a tinker check. See if something happens.
26?
Something happens. You move your arm. However, you'll have to have this tool stuck in your arm, and it'll help you move. But
Well,
it's not good. You'll have to stick another tool in your other arm in order to make that one move quicker. It's just how it works.
I have thief tools. So let's see.
No. You sever the connection between your shoulder and the rest of your arm, and the suit is now has a puncture in it.
Fudge. Okay, I'm just gonna move the half the speed then.
Okay. You move half speed. And what are you trying to do with this half speed? Just catch up to the ship?
I'm just gonna dash it, making it my full speed. So yeah, I'm trying to keep close to my ship, even if they move 40 feet faster than me.
Technically, you
I mean,
are
10 feet faster than me.
technically you are behind the enemy ship.
Ooh.
Yes. So because they are in pursuit. So here's your ally ship and here's the enemy ship. There's a prisoner here and you're here. And they went past the prisoner and continued pursuing, and you are going after them. So you're technically behind both ships.
Okay, I'm going for the one that's chasing my ship
Okay.
and try and, well, for say, use one of the ice picks to, well, give me a handhold. So they can literally just lift on the side of the ship.
Okay, technically you have to catch up to the ship first. So what are you
Yeah.
attempting to do to catch up to the ship?
Just try. You know that an inner circle is bigger than an outer circle. I mean, smaller than an outer circle.
Mm-hmm.
So each time they make a pass, I try to be on the inner side of that pass so that the short gets close to
Okay,
the
I'll
long.
get you to make an athletics check. However, it's at disadvantage.
Yeah, I guess as much. Athletics. That's an 11.
Yeah, you don't make any progress. However, you don't lose any ground.
That's
So
good to know.
I'll leave it at that for now. All right, Captain. They are in pursuit.
Yeah, we're headed into the storm.
Yeah, you're headed towards the storm. Do you want to do anything? They are about 50 feet away from the back of your ship. They're not shooting at you, which is something.
Okay.
So do you
I
want to,
will.
I mean, you could try to jump onto their ship, is what I'm trying to say, but it's quite far.
Yeah, I will just. I will just go to the front of the ship, and I will sit there and look out towards the storm, and I will try to figure out if it's supposed to end today for this crew or not. So I'm just trying to make a. Let's see.
I'll let you determine how that works.
Yeah, sure. I'll just sit and think about that for a little while, and let's roll a d20 to see what I believe. I believe this is not the day. So
And perhaps that's true. We'll see in a minute. So, well,
so yeah, I'll just go and shout to Bloodbeard. This is not the day that the curse will take this ship. Just sail straight into it.
He goes, I'm glad you have confidence. As he continues trying to help the navigator get into the storm. Alright, so we'll switch back to Juzai. Are you just still attempting to swim faster than the ships so that way you can catch up a little more?
Yes, I'm just trying to stay close and stay as close as possible.
Alright, another athletics check at disadvantage.
Oh.
Well, technically,
18.
I'll allow that. It's 18.
Yeah, it's the roads. It's fine.
Yeah. And you do manage to catch up. You're about 40 feet behind the ship, so you can attempt to do something.
Burn the ship, chromatic orb. Let's go.
Well, there goes another spell slot then. It seems like I hope it's fixed now. I really do. It is. It's 12. Well, it's a pretty
Alright,
big ship.
you don't hit your target, which is the ship.
Mm-hmm.
But you can still roll damage if you want to, like, use thunder or something.
It's just those things. It's, yeah.
Yeah, the bottom part is a little out of the text box, but
Oh, that's
I'm sure
thunder, yeah.
Yeah, thunder.
That's...
yeah, you could probably fix that. But anyway, so you want to use thunder damage?
Yeah.
Okay, this one is a lot louder than the other one. And you get the attention of someone who's on the back of the ship, a heavily armored and armed enemy combatant notices that there's somebody following the ship, and you hear, someone's following the ship! What should we do? And you
I just try to seem like I'm just... They threw me overboard way earlier than the two guys they did before, but they did it more unnoticed, so I just try to be an innocent in this all.
You can try to do that if they pull you up onto the ship, but we haven't got to that part yet. So, you hear the Emerald Knight answer back, who is it? And they say, I don't know, sir. He comes back, and you see the Emerald Knight that you had an argument with on the ship, or a disagreement, I'll say. And he sort of just looks back, and he goes, get the rope! And he just grabs a rope, and as you continue swimming, I assume, and he just throws a rope out to you, and there's a rope dangling like less than a foot in front of you. You just have to reach out and grab it instead of continuing swimming.
Yeah, just reach out and grab for it, yeah.
Alright. They start pulling you up. You get out of the water. And that takes about 2 minutes. Over the course of 2 minutes, they manage to pull you out of the water. And the Emerald Knight, looks at you and goes, oh, this piece of garbage. Lock him up! And a bunch of guys come with a pair of manacles, or a set of manacles, to put them on you. Do you attempt to resist?
I have a question. Are those manacles magic by any chance?
You're not sure. Make an Arcana check.
18.
They have markings on them that might be magical, but it's a pretty quick situation, so you're not sure.
This is going to be fun because my suit is still covered in mites.
Yeah, you're gonna de-magicify their whole ship.
It's possible. You can try to do that.
You think I didn't think of that?
However, it's a split-second decision. Do you wish to be manacled or not?
Sure.
Alright, they put the manacles on you. Nothing, it's not like they immediately detach or anything. But they're on you.
It will take some time, that's for sure.
And he says, Are you ready to stand trial for your crimes?
Crimes of first trying to talk, then getting nearly stabbed, not provoking the attack. Sure.
Killing a bunch of civilians. I think the bunch of civilians trumps all of that other stuff.
Well, I didn't kill them. They actually killed me.
Make a persuasion check.
Yay, my -1 is gonna come into play.
They go, right, you're dead. Okay, put him in the brig. And they start leading you down to the brig, unless if you resist, of course.
Well, I'm gonna shudder at each level we go down, like, bit cold down here. Just trying to shake off some minds.
It doesn't really have many levels. You just go down to the next level, and then that's the crew's quarters, and then you go down the next level, and there's the brig that you go directly into, and they
just
lock you in there.
If I didn't have my helmet on, they could just see me grin 24/7.
They wouldn't care even if they did. You are locked up. So in their opinion, you are no longer a threat. So
But
you
I
are
don't
in a
care.
jail cell.
Ooh, what was that?
Ooh, what was what?
Yeah, I heard a very loud sound.
Oh,
Might be on my end.
Yeah, it's probably on your end because I didn't hear anything.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, you are currently in a jail cell. There is a cot, there is a bucket, and there is straw on the floor. They're actually generous. They give you straw on the floor.
So you said there's cloth and buckets?
There's a cot. C-O-T.
Oh, C-O-T.
Like a bed. It's like a very rudimentary bed.
Grab the sheet and try to, well, rip the mites off.
Okay, you start doing that, however, unless if it's magical cloth, which it's not, they're not more attracted to it than your suit. So they keep multiplying on the suit, and any that you wipe off die, but they keep multiplying on the suit.
I can't just say, be gone to my demi-plane, and then all the mites just are there in the form and then drop to the floor.
If you were to attempt to do that, you can. I mean, go ahead. You can try to do that. De-summon it.
Sure.
You attempt to de-summon it, and basically I'll just enact it as a snap of the fingers. You're still equipped.
Dynamites.
Yeah, any magic that attempts to interact with this object is just not going to work.
Okay, so I've got slightly more trouble, but slightly out of less trouble.
Well, you're not drowning.
That's a good thing.
But you're also on an enemy ship, and depending on if they die during the storm that your companion's leading them into, you might die as well. So we're going to see how that goes. So that's what we're going to switch to, unless if you have any other ideas of what to do in this jail cell.
He doesn't know about it, so no, it wouldn't work.
Okay. So, other ship, you eventually get into the stormy area. It starts getting stormier. Like I said, the storm isn't as large as the other one. The other one was like miles wide and that sort of thing. This one is just sort of like, it looks like a water spout that is just forming, so it's quite small. But it's still harder to go through than just regular sea. So you guys head towards it. And I'm gonna roll for their navigator, and I'm gonna get you to decide how to navigate through this. But I'm gonna roll for their navigator first. Okay. So What do you wish to do to help, if anything, get through the storm?
I just stand at the front of the ship and I sing not very distor like last time, but more jolly sea chanties.
Okay. I'll say roll a performance.
A performance, sure.
I'll allow this to help, possibly.
Boost the morale by terrible singing. I'm gonna get to 0. Just I have to find it.
I mean, it's possible. Well, it's still joyful. You help slightly. I'll give you one more thing that you can attempt to do, if you wish.
What else would he do?
Because right now you can see from their roll, they're not doing very well, but you have a chance to possibly...
I will start shouting out towards the storm that fate is having us meet once again. But
yeah,
it's...
and as you say that, you see one of the ghostly, sickly green hands that you saw before. It's a lot smaller than it was last time, but it's still pretty intimidating, I suppose, as it just sort of reaches its hand out of the storm like it did last time.
But today is not the day where this ship shall sink.
Alright, you can... I'll say roll an intimidation.
Intimidation, sure. That's so much better. How am I trying to intimidate it? Sure, why not? 6.
Alright. I'll say that the both of you are not doing well. Your ship is getting sucked into the storm. Just like theirs is, because your average is exactly the same as theirs. Unluckily enough. The navigator on your ship is just desperately trying to turn the wheel, and Captain Bloodbeard is shouting, "I thought we were fine! You said we would make it through this!" As your ship is slowly being forcefully turned into the storm.
You will be fine, as I tap Bloodbeard on the shoulder, and I will say, just try and pick me up at the nearest island, and I will jump off the back of the ship towards the other ship. Because that's the ship that I'm on, so that's the one who's gonna sink, is my thought.
Okay. Alright. Yes, it would technically target the other ship. So, yes, let's see how this goes. So, but first, before that, it's like mid-air action sequence. It freeze frames as you're jumping off the ship.
I'll spend a key point to double my jump. That helps.
Okay, I'll say that you do you do the Superman, like the superhero stereotype of like that little force field that appears around you as you jump. But unfortunately, it freeze frames before it gets to whether or not you land on the other ship. Juzai, you feel the ship begin to rock as if it were in a storm. I mean, you're a pirate. You've been in storms before. This is what's happening.
Yeah, I'm just sitting on my straw bed, just waiting it out.
Okay. So yes, the straw is on the floor. You can sit on the bed if you want.
Yeah, I sit just on the bed, just waiting it out. Like, how long it's gonna take until they are actually that desperate to call my help for this?
Okay. I mean, you can attempt to do anything you wish, but if you just want to abstain from your turn, that's fine.
Yeah, I think I'm just in the cell all alone.
Yeah, the cell is completely empty. They probably went back to shore and repaired the ship, and they had no prisoners on the ship after that. So they just came after you guys. So there's no other prisoners.
What have we ever done?
So they from the amount of cells on the ship, you assume that they probably plan to sink the ship, and anyone that they find floating on the water, they're just going to throw into a jail cell.
Okay, I'm gonna try something. Mage hand that I can perhaps make a ruckus in here. Ruckus.
Make a perception check first to see if you see anything that can help you do that.
Well, you have bars and a bucket. You can just slam it next to the bars. I mean, you don't have
But
to
I
use
want to
Yeah,
keep my
well, I
bucket full.
wanted to make sure that there wasn't like a keg of gunpowder just sitting next to it or something.
That
But-
would have been fun.
But unfortunately, that is not the case. It's just, it seems like they kept this area clean for a reason. They knew that there were going to be prisoners in here and they might get up to mischief. So this area is pretty clean outside the cell. There's not
Bucket
even
in the-
guards at the moment.
Bucket in the other cell.
You trying to look into another cell?
Yeah,
Is what you say? Yeah, the other cells have exactly the same thing as this cell.
mage hand one of the buckets and start just racketing, just like making sounds, trying to get attention because I'm bored. Because basically Juzai is bored now. He wants to mess around.
All right. I'll get you to make a performance check as well.
Yay! -1.
I mean, you could get a natural 20. Who knows? You actually
18.
do decently. You hear, you just start slamming this bucket, like, I'm picturing like, in a video game when you hit the barrier of an area where you're supposed to be able to go and your hand can go outside it, but the object that you're moving can't. So and it's just thudding against this thing unnaturally. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
the physics engine doesn't like it so much. The handle and the bucket seem to come apart and come back together at moments.
I'll say that doesn't happen, but it like thuds against it like you would picture that was happening. And you hear someone above deck saying, "The prisoner is attempting to escape!" And you hear someone coming down the steps.
Yeah, I'm just sitting on the bed going like tra la 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 la.
Yeah, technically you
hi.
can use your mage hand and not even make it look like you're using it.
Yeah, I'm just watching the bucket going like, there's a ghost on the ship, right?
So the guy who comes down is actually the guy with the axe that was captured by you guys, and he goes, "Hey, no, you stop that!" As he points at the a bucket.
Right. It's totally me doing that and not the ghost.
All right, make a deception check.
But the performance, it's so truthful.
Yes, the performance was good. What drew him down here. Now you need to deceive him into thinking it's a ghost. Unfortunately,
Might not be very wise, or
he had a very. I gave you a very low DC. I gave you a 10, and you did not succeed. This guy is not very smart. So he goes. He turns to you and he goes, and then he looks at the bucket and he goes, "You stop that!" As he points to you now instead of the bucket.
I'm going to make my mage hand place the bucket on top of his head.
Okay. As
If
he
that's even
notices
possible.
if he notices that the bucket can go through the bars, sure, I'll allow that. The bucket starts going through the bar, and he goes, "No, no!" As he starts grabbing onto the bucket.
As soon as he grabbed that bucket, move the mage hand to another cell, grab that bucket, try and
All
put
right.
that
As
one on
soon
his head.
as the hand leaves, technically the hand is invisible.
Mm-hmm.
So the bucket just stops, and he just has the bucket in his hand, and he goes, "Stop now!" as he's yelling at the bucket and throws it back in the cell. And then he turns to you and he goes, "You being bad, you must stop now."
As he's saying that, the other bucket slowly lowering back over his head.
Alright, I'll get you to make a stealth check to see if he notices this time. Because you were making a noise with the other one. But this one you weren't.
12.
Alright, so you start sneaking it over. Let's see if he notices. His perception is 0. He notices,
course.
unfortunately. And he turns around and he goes, "No, you, stop, bad," as he grabs the bucket.
Head moves over to the old bucket, starts doing it with that one. Just keep going like that. Just entertainment, free entertainment, so to say.
And he this time when the bucket stops being animate, he looks at you, and then he throws the bucket at you. You can attempt to dodge it. If you attempt to dodge it, then he has to roll to hit you. But if you don't, then it just hits you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna if he tries to hit me, I'm just gonna move out of the way, or if my AC is too high, it's just clang.
Okay, so you're going to try to not let it hit you, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So he has to roll to hit you, which he had. Excuse me, it's unproficient, and he has a -1 to hit you with this weapon. So 12 to hit you.
He hits my armor, it clangs, might start flying.
Okay. And he goes, "You bad! Stop!"
Just my mage hand just tickle his nose.
Okay. Let's see if he can figure out what's happening. He's not the smartest. But he's still smarter than a slug. Alright, he goes, "What? What in my nose? What?" As he starts trying to grab something that would be of appropriate size for whatever's trying to touch him.
As soon as he tries to grab it, the mage head just moves away.
Okay, so he grabs nothing. He goes, "No, you being bad, stop!" And he grabs, he grabs a key that's there. It would be there. Why not? He grabs the key, and he just unlocks the door and opens it, and he looks like he's ready to beat you up.
Hey, I didn't do that. I'm sure they're ghosts. You just can't see them. But I can help you.
As soon as you say, "I'm sure it's a ghost," he draws his axe and attempts to hit you.
But I tell him, I can help you see them.
And as soon as you say "help," he swings down with his first strike, 24. His second strike, natural 1. And his third strike, 10. So he hits you once.
Yep.
For... I forget how much damage I dealt last game, but that's alright.
A battle axe or great axe? What axe?
He's now getting payback for what happened to him.
But I'm not the one that did it.
You ordered it, kind of. I would have done it on my own.
At the moment, he's just annoyed at you, and he's just gonna beat you down until you stop. 18 damage.
Okay, as soon as it hits, I'm just gonna act dead. I'm just gonna lay on the floor like, eh.
Okay.
I've been hit, oh no.
Alright, so you fall to the floor. And he goes, "Good, bad, stop!" As he just puts his axe away and closes the door.
As soon as he moves away, make him trip on his face.
And what are you going to use to attempt to do that?
Mage hand.
Using what? Because the mage hand isn't that much of a physical object. Like, it can't, trip him. You have to use something using the mage hand to trip him. Which you can.
I'm just going to basically go with the mage hand in the bucket, make it go upside down, and then just move it in front of his feet.
Okay, so you're going to move the bucket in front of his feet? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, so that will make him trip up.
Okay. What's required for this is a stealth. And see if he notices you sneakily getting that in there.
He's gonna easily notice that. I'm sure of it.
Pretty sure he has a negative on his perception.
Yeah,
Yes,
negative
he
1.
does.
No, his
So-
perception is actually a 0. You did it before because I did it to
Oh,
the
okay.
12, and
So
then
technically it's about half.
so yay, I have a 40% that he will fail.
Over that, but he fails and trips. So at that point, the door is open.
I'm just going to hop on top of him and then jump over him and try and
Alright.
lock him up in my cell.
Since he's prone, I'll allow for you to move through his space, but unless you use disengage or anything like that, then he gets an attack of opportunity still.
I disengage and then just try and block the door from him so that he can't get
Alright,
out.
I'll say that that's a free action for you to close the door.
Yeah, and then just use my own body as like a blockade so that he can't just easily swing it open.
Okay. We'll move to the next turn there. He is going to attempt to open the door. So, his specialty is strength.
Same here.
Yes, but still, that means he has a decent chance. 17, and you need to roll against him. It's basically like a grapple.
So athletics. 25.
And you hold the door closed. And now
Look,
it's your turn, so you can
Look,
decide
you
what
also have been bad. The ghost doesn't like you very much, you see?
He
I will
goes,
go.
Me stupid, but not ghost. You! As he points at you, pushing on the door.
No, look. How can I make you trip when I was down there on the floor, away from you? The bucket makes you trip.
Magic! As he starts shaking the door.
I just hold out my finger with some mice on it. These little things prevent me from using magic. So how can I use magic when I can't use magic?
I'll let you choose between persuasion and deception.
Deception, save me.
Because
14.
technically you can still cast magic with these things on you.
Yeah.
But they do block magic. So technically you're using the truth and a lie at the same time. So I would have let you use demon. 14, he's going to attempt to see through that. This time I'm going to actually roll. But he's not that great. But he's better at that than some things. He goes, magic, magic, as he continues pushing.
Can I check the keyhole if he forgot to remove the key from the cell door?
I'll roll a d20, see if he forgot. Yeah, he forgot.
Clink.
You lock the door and he goes, magic, as he's shaking the door, violently angry.
So I go in a different cell, use the key, and then hide the key.
Okay, so you're going to lock your door?
Yeah, because there are bars. I can move my hands to the bars, click, move the key, pull it in my cell, and then hide the key.
Okay, make a sleight of hand, because that's more appropriate for this situation than stealth.
25. I mean, 15.
Yeah, that looks like a 2 to me.
I don't know why I had a 20 in my head.
Either way, somebody else starts coming down, hearing the screams of magic, and another guard, just a random guard this time, comes down, and he looks in the cell, and he sees that there's a guard in the cell, and he shouldn't be, and he looks and sees that you are in a cell. I'll roll a d20. Actually, he's the guard, one of the guards that saw you get put in the other cell. So, he goes, wait, how did you... And he looks at the guy who's the guard in the cell, and he goes, magic!
I will calmly explain, look, I told him there was a ghost. He moved me in this other cell to check the cell out, but the ghost locked him up in there.
The man goes, "No, him, magic!" I need you to make a deception check to see if he believes you or the other guy.
Buckets fly as I tell him. I see, there goes the bucket again.
I'll say that you could have prepared that, sure.
So what does it do?
So it's just a deception at advantage rather than a regular one. Because you're making things fly around. However, you still rolled super bad. So, he goes. He sees the bucket floating. He looks at you. He looks at the guard, and the guard says, "Magic!" as he points at you, and the guard goes, "Okay." And he reaches into his pocket, and he has some dust in his hand, and he just goes into your face. Now, you can make a dexterity saving throw if you wish to dodge whatever this is, or you can just take it if you wish.
He's gonna make the mites sleep as well. And he doesn't know of the mites.
Dexterity saving throw.
Let's see how bad I do. Oh wait, it's 13. I still have advantage on.
Yeah, that's okay. I can still see it. Either way, yeah. You do not dodge. Now you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Nope.
You lackadaisically grab onto the bars. You attempt to move the bucket, but the bucket just stops and falls.
Hey,
And-
DM,
Yes.
stop exploiting sleep aid. It's not meant for that. I just thought.
You guys use it, now I get to. So, you stumble. You continue to try to animate the bucket. However, you're too sleepy, and the bucket just falls to the floor.
Before the bucket falls, I'm gonna make my mage hand just throw the bucket.
You attempt to make it. However, since you failed, you don't get to succeed on that, unfortunately, and it doesn't throw it very far. It just sort of lackadaisically falls on the floor. And your mage hand vanishes. And the guard that's outside your cell goes,
Ooh.
"You're right. It is him causing the magic." And he goes,
Ooh.
"Yes,
I just
magic."
remembered something. I wake up instantly again.
Because,
I have a voice in my head.
yes, but you don't get to see what happens with that.
No.
So, we'll get to see what happens with that later. But you begin to fall asleep. And the guard, the last thing that you see before you basically, you know how on shows and stuff, people drag their faces down the window and stuff comedically. Well, you're sort of dragging the front of your body down the front of this jail cell comedically. And the last thing that you manage to see is the other guard in the other cell, drawing his weapon and saying, "I'll smash this if you don't let me out." And the other guard's going, "Wait, let's just find the key." And then you go unconscious.
Oh god.
So we get to switch to the other ship.
Or the same ship.
Well, technically you're in midair, so neither of the ships. So roll a acrobatics check.
Okay, do I get advantage because I spent key?
It's not for the distance, it's to tell how you land.
Okay. Because I don't want to land on top of the ship. I want to either on the front end or kind of on the side of the ship.
You basically want to Assassin's Creed jump and then land holding the side.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you still need acrobatics. See
21.
how well that goes. Yeah, yeah. You do a perfect Assassin's Creed, like, leap off and then onto the front of the other ship.
And I would like to go make my way around the ship to the back of it. You know the rotor? I want to
Mhm.
break that.
Okay, so you're attempting to do the Assassin's Creed climb along the side, and the
Yes.
guys can't see you.
Yes.
Okay, make a stealth check,
Stealth. Okay.
because unfortunately this is not Assassin's Creed,
10.
so they have a chance of seeing you. Whereas in Assassin's Creed, they could walk right up next to you and they wouldn't see you because you have to be able to get the down assassinate and pull them off. But in this, that is not how this works. So, there's a dude who is looking at the other ship, so he probably might have seen you, but I'm not going to give an advantage. I'm going to give you a chance to hide here.
Yes.
Oh, wow. You super crappily hide, but he's super crappily looking. So you manage to hide. He's focusing more on the storm and on where the opposing ship is, rather than a guy who just went flying. Maybe he assumed that you fell in the water. You're not sure. You're not really paying attention to him at the moment. As you start going along like Assassin's Creed on the side of the ship, nobody seems to notice you.
Okay. So do I make it to the back of the ship, or
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna punch the shit out of the rotor? So.
Unfortunately, your first strike hits it and it sort of hurts your hand, and you go, and you punch it harder the next 2 times, and you manage to hit it. Let's see how much damage you do.
And some of it's necrotic. I don't know if that helps against the wood. But,
yeah, it rots the wood, so it still helps.
Yeah.
It makes your bludgeoning more effective, is what I'll say. So I'll just count that as damage. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Like, there are stats for, like, stone walls in some of the books, and they only have, like, 50 HP. So this thing is destroyed.
Okay, so yeah, then I'll shout out towards the storm, and I'll say, "This is the ship fated to sink this day."
All right. So you shout that out to
Towards
anybody
the storm.
who can...
Yeah, people could probably hear as well. I mean, I
All
shout
right,
pretty
make an
loudly.
intimidation check. See what happens.
Intimidation 0.
They don't believe you, but you say
I
it.
believe me.
Yeah, you believe you, but they don't. Perhaps it's the wind that is making them not hear you, or some other things, other factors. But yeah, they don't seem there. You don't see anybody like "Ah," or anything like that. They're just continuing their tasks. However, since you made the noise of shouting, they know where you are now.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna keep punching into the side of the ship. I'm gonna try and make holes beneath the water.
Okay, so you're going to Assassin's Creed, let go, cling back on, let go, cling back on until you get to the bottom.
Yeah, and like just beneath the sea levels, I'm gonna try and punch holes through the ship.
Okay, so first we're gonna need an acrobatics to see whether or not you can hang on.
20.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't a hard one, but 20 is enough. Yeah, you managed to Assassin's Creed, let go, grab back on, let go, grab back on, to quickly get down. And you managed to get under the surface of the water, if that's where you wanted to go.
Yeah, because just under, I want to just punch holes. I'm gonna rot away the wood there, so it's gonna start taking in water.
Okay. Roll some punches for me.
That's 1 turn.
Yeah, roll the damage. Okay, so that is a lot of damage. You managed to punch through 3 times is what I'm gonna say.
And I'm gonna keep circling around the ship, and I'm gonna keep punching the bottom of this ship.
Okay. So they detected you, but they weren't able to get to your position fast enough before you went down into the water and you started punching holes in the ship. As you're punching holes in the ship, you notice that the ship is starting to. They still have sails, so they're still trying to turn the ship. And you notice that the ship is just trying to not chase anymore.
They're trying to get away from the storm that's following this ship now.
They're trying to get away from the other ship. You're
Okay.
not sure why.
I look towards the other ship. Is something happening? What's happening with the storm?
Make a perception check. See what you notice.
Or actually, never mind. That wouldn't be interesting because I already determined earlier what was gonna happen in my head. So I'm gonna assume that's what's happening. So I'm just gonna punch the ship.
Okay, you punch the ship. Just roll 3 more punches. Alright? They all hit. It's a ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, you punch 3 more holes easily.
And
I was giving it 15 HP, and look how much. So you succeed in punching holes each punch.
And I'm just gonna keep circling and doing that for a while until I get caught or until something else happens.
Okay, let's do this one more time.
Sure.
And roll the crit damage.
Yes.
Alright, yeah, you punch a huge hole with that last punch. And you can now see into the cargo hold. This hole is so big. You can attempt to go inside if you want.
No, everything here is gonna sink anyway, so I'm just gonna keep moving around.
Alright. You witness, actually make a perception check.
Perception, okay. Just gonna look over and see the other ship get destroyed or something.
Oh no, the one thing that I wanted you to notice, that I made you roll for, you get to notice. There were other things you could have saw, but you witnessed the storm begin to envelop the ship. And the other ship is just turning away into what looks like calm waters suddenly.
Well, I did tell him to pick me up at the nearest shore, so I hope he does that.
Well, he has to get away from the storm first, so that's what they're doing.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, and the storm is, like, the ship is turning. You see that more of the ship is actually underwater than should be. That sort of thing. So it's actually, like, tipping the ship sideways.
I'm just gonna keep going punching until someone stops me. That's my only goal at the moment.
Alright, so at that moment, I'll get you to roll 3 more. Alright, those all hit.
If I end up in a fight, I'm gonna get terrible rolls, but punching ships, amazing. I'm great at that. That's how it
You're
was
not only
last time.
great at that, you're like way above average at that.
Yeah, but if it comes to a real fight, like the last time with the X guy, I'm gonna roll terrible.
Yeah. So, the ship has holes in it, and it's taking in water. However, you notice that the ship is, like, turning onto its side.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it. Or it's turning over me.
The side of the ship is literally like this. Like, the whole ship is like this. Those are the sides of the ship. It looks like if you wait another turn, it's gonna be sideways in the water.
Okay. I'm just gonna feel that my job is done here, and I'm just gonna push back into the ocean on my back and wait with my eyes closed.
Alright.
To see what happens. So I'm just laying in the ocean.
Look up as you float back in the water, and you see that weird creature that that curse as has been its physical form, because you're in the eye of the storm, basically. And you look up, and you see that the creature is currently floating down towards you to grab you with its weird-looking hands, which appears to be the purpose of the hands. And it picks you up and lifts you out of the water.
I just ask it, as it does that, I just ask it, is it my time as well?
He goes, "It is your time to be protected," as it places the other hand on top of you, and you go unconscious.
Yeah, I just sigh at that when it says protected and not die. And I go unconscious.
Yeah. Because that's what the curse is. It's supposed to be that you survive and no one else does.
Yes.
So that's what it's trying to do. However, I'm going to roll a d20 here. Alright. That's pretty devastating. Okay, so both of you awaken on what feels like you're floating, maybe? Your legs are sort of weightless as you begin to awaken. And you're sort of just laying in. You sort of open your eyes, and both of you appear to have landed on a board or something. You're not sure. And you're both sort of just like we're lackadaisically floating on a board.
And I will ask Juzai, so did our ship sink as well?
What?
I don't know you jumped in the
Sink?
ocean.
Yeah, he doesn't know that you jumped in the ocean and got on the other ship. So he thinks that the other ship sank, is what he's asking.
What? Do you mean our ship, like that one of Bloodbeard, or the one that was chasing us?
Well, I'm certainly no bounty hunter.
So, yeah, I was on a bounty hunter ship. Bank, which is a good thing.
And both of you make perception checks. As you sort of
Sure.
just lackadaisically talking. Actually, you're kind of shouting. You're about 50 feet away from each other.
Nope.
All right. Just let me finish getting this crap out of my nose. There we go. Now, both of you sort of look to the side of you. However, Juzai is looking at the cursed captain rather than the way the cursed captain is looking, which is why he notices and the Juzai does not. Excuse me.
No problem.
You see an island about maybe 200 feet away from you. You're sort of on the sandbar, so you could, in theory, stand up if you wanted to in this water and just walk to this island that is nearby. You see debris everywhere in the water. Like a mast and a sail just sort of floating by. You see a keg just sort of bobbing on the water. You see boards, you see bodies, people, just sort of pieces floating.
I will tell Juzai, this is the island. Now we just have to scavenge for food and water.
Wait. What happened? First explain that.
What happened is I used the curse to curse your ship, or the bounty hunter ship. It was not Bloodbear's time yet. Because
That's
if I had rolled lower, I would things would have gone differently. I was basically, is he gonna sink now or not?
Yeah, a lot of things depended on a very few rolls.
okay. Then, do you still have my bag?
Would you have
I would-
taken his bag with you?
I would probably have left it on Bloodbear's ship, most likely, because bringing it while you jump over and try to sink in the ocean is probably not the best idea.
Okay, that's fair. So he answers you by you looking at him, and you see
I
that the
tell
bag
you,
is not there.
it's safe on the ship, I would assume. It was not Bloodbear's time yet.
I mean, he's the kind of guy who just wears the kind of pirate that just wears sackcloth clothing. He's got nothing on him. You can see that it's not there, obviously.
Well, okay then. I'm officially still screwed.
Yeah, you look at your armor. Your armor still has the weird dots all over it.
Well, in either
Wouldn't.
case, we
By
should.
any chance, have any magical, do you?
Magic.
Yeah.
I do have magic, but why? Why are you asking?
Items.
Yeah,
Items.
his gloves that you're aware of. His gloves that give him +2.
Yeah, I just asked him items you can miss.
Miss. Well, I don't miss a lot with this. If that's what you're referring to.
No, I mean items you can like relinquish, not have anymore.
Probably not on his person.
No, I care very little with me. All you see is baggies, clothes with hole in them, and my gauntlets and a necklace.
Yeah,
Well,
he just looks like a regular pirate with very little.
And a little satchel on the side that might have some stuff in it, but nothing grand.
Yeah, it
Well,
might have like a souvenir or something. It's like a tiny sack like this big or something.
well, okay, we have to go and, well, scavenge on this island to survive.
Alright.
I nod.
But with that 20 perception, you also did get something else, but I didn't really want to interrupt the conversation. But since it seems to be we're heading to the island, you notice somebody standing on the island.
Who?
Well,
or what does it look like? Or what do I see?
he has green armor. And he seems to have a fire set up already. Like a fire and like a fire pit. Like he has rocks all around it. He currently has like sticks that are holding up a pot, and he's currently cooking something.
I have a question? It's gonna sound very ridiculous. Do I still have my tiny, what was it, hermit crab with me?
Would you
I
have
think
brought
not.
that with you, or
I
would you
would
have put that in your bag?
I would put. It would have died in the bag of holding.
Yeah, he would have died in the bag of holding. Right. So where would you have put him?
I would have taken it with me on the ship. I wouldn't know where it was the following morning, since I didn't look for it. I am suspecting close to me.
So on the
I'll
ship.
give you two options.
Mm-hmm.
One, you brought it with you and it was in the fight and everything. Or two, you put it on like the shelf or something. And
I put it on the shelf, then it's in its. Then it just clawed its way into the food bag, eating its food.
at least it would still be on the other ship, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Okay.
So I'll give you a choice. It's either with you, and I'll have to make rolls to determine its current location, or it's on the ship.
Yeah, it's gonna be on the ship. That's why you say for a little thing.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Because I wasn't gonna force you to lose your little pet if you didn't
Yeah,
want to.
I just realized something. Perhaps it can eat the mites.
You're not sure? You didn't try that.
Yeah.
So,
So
um,
let's move over to the fire.
alright. You two are conscious and you're able to move. It's not like your legs are broken or anything. Luckily.
I'm a bit used to this, so I'm just gonna wait until my body hits the shore. So I'm just laying there for a little while.
Yeah, the waves slowly out over the next half hour bring you to shore.
I just stand up and start walking way faster than him.
Yeah, it's he could literally stand up and walk to shore, but he's just gonna lay there. So you walk to shore. Do you approach the fire pit?
Yeah, I'm first gonna see if there's anyone else than just this one green man.
Make another perception check. Of course. You don't see anyone.
You see over there in the ocean, there's that monk you've been traveling with.
Yeah, that's true. And you see the green guy too.
I just plop down beside him.
All right. He sighs. Figures. The prisoner gets away. As he's just sort of staring at this pot. And he currently appears to have something in the pot that's boiling.
So what's cooking?
He motions to it. Well, if you help me survive here, I'll put you in for consideration to not be executed when we bring you back. So if you decide to help out, I'll let you have a look.
That's why I'm asking you what's in the pot currently. Like, are there like hermit crabs, octopus? What's
He
in it?
emotions for you to look.
Just keep going. Just
Keep asking.
keep asking.
I just get up and just look into the pot. What's in it?
Make a nature check. See if you can identify exact species or anything like that. Of course not. But you've lived on the ocean for a while. Definitely looks like pieces of fish flesh, not like octopus. So it's not like the long, thin things or anything. It's like little chunks of fish fillet.
So yeah, I just walk. Is there a palm? What kind of trees are on this shore?
Make a nature check.
Finally.
Okay. Yeah, it's the crew. He's eating them. No. Yeah, it looks like fish. But either way, yeah, there's palm trees. There's those weird little plants that are just leaves. I don't know what they're called. That are on the floor of that are on certain tropical beaches. Okay. Pun time is over. Okay. So, yes. There's those weird little leaf-like plants that are just like roots and leaves. And
Yeah,
the
so
leaves are like waxy.
so I
To
get
the
out
touch.
of my suit and use the ice picks. Hopefully still have a few left. Hopefully.
Yeah, they weren't magical, so I'll say that you kept them on your person.
Yeah, so I start just climbing, using them to climb the tree, and well, if they have coconuts, that is.
Yeah, I'll say that a few of them have coconuts, so you can
Yeah,
grab a
then
couple.
use the ice picks to climb up and just
And
break
since
them
you're
loose from the
using
tree.
ice picks, I'll forego any roll to get them. So I'll say that you have within 10 minutes of the ones nearby, you have 5 coconuts.
Yeah, I bring them over, then then ask him, do you want, what do you want? Well, the liquid and the flesh? Your choice.
He just holds his hand out, as in, like, to give him one.
I give him one of the coconuts.
He just takes it, and he draws his long sword that he has sheathed on his back, and he just cracks it. And then opens it.
You know, I have ice picks for that. I have 30 ice picks.
He just cracked it open and, like, split it open, and that's just what he's doing. He's not taking any of your help other than you giving him stuff. At the moment, at least.
Yeah. So if what's in the pot is in there, I suggest him, if you want to make that stew or soup you're making any better, just chuck in the meat that's inside the coconut and chuck it in there.
He goes, I learned survival at the academy. And then he just throws a couple pieces in spitefully.
Did they even teach you how to survive inland, what to expect inland? Because most of inland isn't very, well, predictable.
He goes, look at the rest of the crew. They taught me enough. As he just grabs a little piece of coconut and just eats it.
Well, if you say so. I get up and start heading inland to actually gather wood for, well, shelter and fire and other things.
Alright, as you leave, the cursed captain washes up on shore, so you can decide whether or not you wish to stand at that moment.
I will stand now that I'm on shore.
And you see the Emerald Knight just sitting in front of a stew pot. And he's got a coconut in his hand.
I will just ask him why he had such a terrible idea that he had to go and chase a cursed man on sea.
He goes, I didn't know all of your names, I just knew the ship. As he continues eating from the coconut. He still has his armor on, by the way. He has, like, his full regalia on. It seems barely damaged, if at all.
Well, it doesn't matter.
But you're just now realizing that he survived.
Yeah, I just say, well, it doesn't matter. If a new ship comes to pick you up, it'll be cursed as well.
He goes, well, we'll deal with that when that comes. For now, we have to figure out how to live here for who knows how long.
Well, it should be at least until we run out of food. Get scroungy, like you get drained from food. That kind of thing is what the word I'm trying to use, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, you basically go insane and things of that nature. It's the reason why people sometimes resort to cannibalism and things of that nature.
And somebody will come in the last moments. They usually do.
Glad you're an expert. This is actually my first shipwreck. As he continues cutting different parts of the coconut with his long sword.
Okay. I will just leave him alone. And I'll go and find somewhere to sit and think.
Alright. So you sit nearby, relatively. Like he's within eyesight. Alright, so Juzai, what are you looking for specifically? Anything in particular?
I don't know if this island will have it, but I'm heavily doubting it will. I'm looking for, well, trees are enough, but bamboo? Any chance?
Okay, if your highest priority is bamboo, that's fine.
That's
There's
one
a
of the priorities.
yes. Depends on what your highest priority is. Depends on the DC of that priority. I'll throw in other things.
Bamboo, yeah, basically building materials. So bamboo would be one of them. Just trees are far and wide, I guess.
This place has quite a few trees. It's slightly dense forest, like
Yeah.
tropical.
So first get the sturdy building materials before we get the softer building materials like leaves and such.
All right, make it a survival or investigation. Either one will do. In this
I like how
instance.
he's desperately trying to survive while I'm just sitting on the beach thinking.
25.
All right. Yeah, oddly enough, there's a small pond about, I'll say, 400 feet from the shoreline, from where you landed, and it's got bamboo all around it. But you also notice what looks like a structure, like as if someone's been built something here. It looks like someone took the bamboo and used it to make stilts, and in the middle of this pond is a house that's built on top of stilts in the middle of the pond.
Is there like a walkway to this house?
No. There's a ladder that's on the side of it, but you assume that you have to swim to it in order to get to it.
I'm gonna scope the place first out to see if I can see movement inside the house.
Okay, make a perception check.
Here it comes. A 5! How predictable!
You don't see any movement.
I think it's safe enough.
Alright. Do you approach?
I approach.
Alright. So you have to swim to it to get to the ladder. Do you aim for
So-
the ladder or do you aim for a different part of the house?
I aim for that, but before I even start getting in the water, grab a few rocks and start, well, chucking them in the road I'm going. To see if something moves or like snaps at it.
Make another perception check.
But to find pebbles or stones. A
No,
10.
this is to see the movement. The stones are easy enough to find. You see ripples in the water when you throw the rock in, and there's movement related to that, but you don't see anything specific that would raise your attention.
Okay, I guess it's safe enough then.
Alright. So you're heading towards the ladder?
Yeah, I'm heading towards the ladder.
Alright. I'm gonna get you to make a dexterity saving throw.
What's it wants today with me?
Alright, you reach the ladder. However, you feel something grab onto your leg.
Uh-oh.
You don't know what it is, but it has multiple appendages, if you will. Like, it's coming at your leg from different directions and wrapping around.
Just try and pull my leg up and just, well... Wait, I can do one thing. Misty step up the ladder.
Okay. Technically, you can do that. So you misty step up. Whatever was grabbing your leg is no longer on your leg, and you don't see what it was.
Well, that's a good thing. At least I'm still free. And then, well, knock on the door.
There is no door. It's just an opening.
Oh, just look inside, try to see if I can see anything.
Alright, you look inside. Make an investigation check.
22.
There's a bed that seems to be made of palm leaves. And the only reason you can tell is because it's different than the bamboo floor. And there's some sort of rock as a headrest, you assume, at the top of it. There's a bamboo table, and there's a bamboo chair. There's a couple of other things made of bamboo that are furniture, like a nightstand, other things. There's also a table next to the wall, and there's things pinned on the wall above the table.
So I slowly step in and go like, hello? Anyone home?
You don't hear a reply.
And then just check out what the things are pinned above the table are.
Alright, I'm gonna need you to make a nature check. See if you can identify what these things are.
14.
Alright, these things, they look, what's the word? Are octopi mollusks?
What?
It looks like an octopus. A couple of them, sort of just pinned to the wall. They appear dried out, so it's kind of hard to identify them when they're like that. But you're not sure on the exact species or anything like that, but they appear to be dried out, which gets rid of most of their body mass, so they just look like shriveled up little sticks almost. But when you look at them more closely, you can see like there's the suckers on the end of the tentacles and everything like that. They're just dried out, and they're pinned to the wall with like little sticks.
But I put one and one together and think that the thing grabbing my leg were octopuses.
Yeah, you could. It was just a little, based on the size of this thing, it's probably about the same size. It's just about the size of your fist, maybe. And it was just grabbing onto you.
Yeah, I was just a bit freaked out. So I'm just looking around trying to find who this place could be from.
Sure. The investigation check was for the building. I'll give it to you, a little bit more information, because you got 22. But you went to the table, so after you go to the table, you go to that table along the wall. You go to this other table, and you see that there are pages on it, as in paper.
So I grab the chair and start reading. If I actually can read the paper, that's going to be the question, because these are my languages.
All right. Yeah, you have deep speech now. However, that doesn't help you. The words are written in a language you don't understand.
Well, too bad.
But they do have pictures on them, so I'll get you to make an investigation check. See if you can identify what's going on with that.
11.
There are photos on them. They appear to be drawings of perhaps like a person being eaten by a fish, or someone with the bottom half of a fish, or something like that. You're not sure, but they don't look like they're in pain, so you assume that they're not being eaten by a fish. Sort of just like the upper half of a person, and they have like a fish tail sort of thing going on beneath their abdomen. And you're not sure what that means. They have like little fins on the sides of their face, like tridents, that sort of thing. You're not sure. Like some of them are renditions of males, some of them are renditions of females. you don't know what that means in pertaining to the text because you can't read the text.
Now, something happened, that's for sure, so I just look around a little bit more, then just put everything back as it was.
Yeah, you look around a little bit more. There isn't much more here.
And then, well, leave the place, because
Alright.
I don't find anything here.
Alright. I need you to make a perception check before you leave the dwelling.
16.
You hear what it sounds like someone swimming in the water beneath the building that you're in.
I just wait outside the building and look down to see if I can see the person.
Okay, so you're going to exit the building?
Mm-hmm.
Just making sure what you're doing. Okay, so you exit the building and you stand on there's like a little platform that the building is on that you can walk around to get to the back of the building and everything. So you step out onto this platform, and you look over the side, and you see what looks like a humanoid. They have arms, legs, perhaps human, you're not sure. But they haven't gotten up yet onto the platform.
So, yeah, I just get their attention by saying, "Hello over there."
The person looks up, appears to be perhaps female, maybe elven, based on the delicateness of the features. And they manage to get to the ladder, and they climb up. They're wearing some sort of like leaf garb, like made out of leaves. Sort of like a bikini looking thing. And she climbs up and she says, "What are you doing here? I didn't know anyone else was here."
Well, we just arrived. Just trying to be joking about it, like we just arrived by sea travel.
Oh. She gently just grabs onto the side of the top of the house, just lifts herself up, and she starts looking in the direction that you came from.
Yeah, there are two other persons over there.
She goes, "Oh wait, she'll make a roll for that." Yeah. She goes, "Why are you lying?"
I am not lying. I point towards the way that I came from. Like there are two other people over there. Not like over there, but in that direction.
"I see two people next to a fire pit, but I also see three more going through the wilderness."
Those three I didn't know about.
"Well, it seems as though you've crashed a ship. Must have been the storm nearby."
Yeah.
Climbs down off the roof. "So, my apologies. I am a researcher here. I've come to see if there was anything interesting on this island. Apparently there is."
Yeah, well, if you're assuming this house is mine, then sadly enough, no, it's not.
She laughs. She goes, "No, this is my house. I made it myself from the flora around the area. It's
Well,
actually quite sturdy."
yeah, it's very basic. Once you have shipwrecked your ship and just try and find sturdy materials and build your house out of it.
"I didn't shipwreck here. I came here on purpose."
Yeah, I shipwrecked. So should we get my friends that are on the beach by the fire?
"Only if you want. I mean, I can't help you leave. I was expected to be here for a few years."
That's no problem. And what about those others you saw in the forest? The three I didn't know about.
"Heavily armored, kind of like the green one on the on the shore.
Ah, yes, I think they are his, well, part of his crew. I was just there,
Hmm.
doing my own thing.
Well, I'll just warn you that the natives here don't take kindly to outsiders. The only reason I am able to live among them is because I was willing to learn their language, um, sacrifice any weapons I had, things of that nature.
Okay, well, the only quote unquote weapon I could have had is totally inert because of. Do you know about enchantment mites by any chance?
Hmm. She's gonna roll an Arcana, which she is decent at. However, she does not succeed, and she goes, "What is it? This?" And she sort of motions to the little specks that are on your armor, and she sort of puts her hand out delicately, and one
Yeah,
crawls out onto her hand.
yeah, those little things. They are technically not alive. They're just literally feeding off the magical energy from my suit and making it inert.
Hmm. Fascinating. She just is staring at it, not saying anything else.
I mean, if you were to give that one a piece of magical item to, well, nibble on, it would duplicate within seconds.
Fascinating. As it's just sort of crawling around aimlessly on her body.
And it's actually amazing it's doing so well for so long on you.
And just as you say that, you see it just sort of dissipate.
And there it went.
Odd. Well, anyway, so these things are a problem?
Well, for me, currently, yes, because they basically make my complete research in this suit and investment totally worthless.
You mean you don't know of a way to get rid of them?
Yeah, because I can try and just rub them off, but they duplicate way too fast for that.
Hmm. Well, if you're looking for help, I could suggest the natives, but you may have to barter with them if you wish to get anything useful.
What would they like to barter with?
Depends on what you have. Though, she looks back at the area where you shipwrecked and goes, I assume you don't have much.
Oh, don't doubt me about that, because I can make things up literally on the spot.
You
Working
hear a voice
things.
in your head. I could help you make things on the spot, though you take a little bit of time, don't you?
I can just completely ignore him like he doesn't even exist. Like I'm too busy talking right now with someone.
Yes. The woman doesn't notice, so it's not like the voice is audible to anybody else.
So yeah, I can make things like I know how I can make from bamboo like a water system, or from wood a few things.
Come inside. I saw that you were already in here. I assume you know your way around as she walks into the hut.
They're just trying to see if the residents, well, the resident was still alive.
Fair. Come in.
I walk in and, well,
She
at
shows
least
you the.
shoot outside.
She grabs the page and she shows you the depiction. She says, They are very much like this. The natives. They live, and she points down.
Yeah, they live in the water. Yes, I assumed as much.
No, well, yes, they do, but I mean specifically. And she points down again.
Specifically on the ground, in underwater.
She points down again. She's hoping that you understand this.
Under. I just follow her finger, trying to see what she's meaning, because I really don't know.
She goes, another imbecile. In the pool beneath me.
Look, if you're going to be vague about it, then sure, then no one's gonna get it.
I just told you, in the pool beneath me.
No, I mean, like, your previous question was like, they live down.
She face palms
But
visibly.
let me finish before you actually go to Facebook. But now you told me they live in the pool beneath you. Yes, I understand that they live there.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but I think I'm gonna head off now. 'Cause it's 3 a.m. So I'll talk to
Okay.
you guys later.
So, just before you go, I'll end off.
Okay.
I'll switch back to you for a minute. And then I'll end the session. You two are sitting on the beach when suddenly you hear what sounds like people stepping through the woods nearby.
All right. I'll take a look. What do I see?
Make a perception check.
11.
You see shapes in the woods, but you don't specifically know what they are. They look like they're tall enough to be a person, wide enough to be a person, maybe. But they're sort of concealed by the shadows of the trees at the moment.
Yep.
Anything you want to do? Do you wish to warn the other person there, or?
No, I'm just waiting for now. I have an eye out. See what's there.
Okay. They crouch there for about 10-15 minutes, watching both of you, whatever the figures are.
Okay. Yeah, as long as they don't do anything, I won't either.
Alright. The figures approach, or start moving out of the trees at a very quick pace. However, you notice that they don't have feet. They have fish-like bodies. And there's 3 of them specifically. And that is where we are going to end off for now.
Okay. Sure.
So,
Oh,
Juzai is having a date, and the Cursed Captain and the Emerald Knight are being perhaps ambushed. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Or we get. Oh.